Bow, bow, bow. We made it. Well, 3 of us did. Hello. Hi. I guess they don't have daylight savings in England land.
Yeah, he messages us and he's like, "Oi, is there something wrong with the clocks now? Is there?"
He's kind of like that.
Big
Oi, because that's his accent.
Fest on me is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. We're like, yeah, bitch.
Yeah, 4 days ago.
Freedom time, bro.
Come on, get with it.
You should know this. You exclusively hang out with internet American friends. You should know our time. You should live on our time. That's how this works. Hello, everybody. Phil's trying to give everybody a seat.
What's up?
Welcome to the first post-daylight savings creative block show.
Creative block.
I've got a good one lined up. Kind of. It's going to be a bit weird. In case you can't tell, this is my attempt at revenge, everybody. So if you look at the title, I'm doing my best to get my revenge. We're going to be talking about poignant, impactful, and ornate storytelling in comics.
God.
Very broad topic, but we shall see what I have prepared. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
I'm excited.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
My camera refuses to believe that I exist. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, you're like in limbo land. What? It's
Yeah,
blurring everything. It's just everything is clear but your face. That's like really what's happening. Oh my god.
Into witness protection.
Yeah.
Why can't it? Yeah, it's like I only understand what's close. It's got mirror-eyed.
Marvel, are you real? Are you really here?
I don't know.
Guess who
Someone
made it.
someone time traveled.
Listen, I guess you guys do things a little bit differently over there, huh? Just gotta just gotta change. I got my camera.
Freedom land. Actually, fucking daylight savings is retarded. I hate it as well.
You just gotta be
doing it for like hundreds of years.
It's honestly really stupid. I don't know why they do it at all.
We have daylight savings too, but I guess we're out of sync. So usually we start at 3 a.m. and it's 2 a.m. I'm lucky I actually woke up early. I was gonna wake up at 2. I was gonna have a nice, relaxing hours worth of getting ready for the show. But no.
I hate it. Like, I mean, I'm a night owl and my schedule, like sleep schedule is already like always fucked up. But dude, daylight savings just always, especially the jump forward, because I'm like, that 1 hour matters for me because I'm already getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day, and sometimes not even all at once because it's like in naps. My schedule's insane. When I tell you guys I'm busy, I'm like not kidding. I get no sleep. Why do they have to do daylight savings? Just fuck with me personally. That's exactly their intention. No, it's not.
Yeah, if Irene could work in her sleep, she would.
I would. I wish. There's this. I literally think about this a lot. So there's a scene in Ghost in the Shell where the Major is like driving, but she's doing research on the internet at the same time. And I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be so great if I had a cyber brain and I could be just doing mundane things like driving or sleeping or eating, and I could still be like writing and working and just in my brain, because that's gonna be perfect. I get so much done.
The funny thing about that is she wouldn't, technically, if it was the future, she wouldn't need to drive, right? Like, why is the car not self-driving and then she's doing whatever?
I know. Listen, it was made in the early 2000s. They didn't really like have a clear picture. Even though the cyberbrain stuff is actually really uncanny, I feel like we're headed that way, and all like especially with Second Gig, what the side effects of having a cyberbrain would be. But it's like, yeah, they really didn't think about. They thought about AI, like the Puppet Master and everything, but it wasn't. It didn't really pan out in the same way. It's very interesting. So much more terrifying. Hello, Job Sailor moved to Germany. It's 3 a.m. a year. Yeah, Jake, just move to Germany and then you'll be on the right time.
I'm so surprised that the clock's on in sync, but hey, still made it. I didn't even have to be German to make it.
No, only a little bit. That error matters. It does. Okay, if you're trying to do gifted 5 memberships, thank you so much. Thank you. Who isn't on their phone while driving? I never do that.
Lawful, abiding citizens.
I'm very lawful. law-abiding, good citizen.
Yeah, come on.
Very good citizen.
The only thing you're allowed to do on your phone whilst driving is play Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that seems like a logical thing to do. That you should definitely be doing while you're driving.
That's perfectly legal to play Pokemon Go while driving.
Yeah, makes complete sense. How was before we jump into things, how's everybody's week? How are y'all doing?
It's good. I drove to Wisconsin yesterday.
You did? How far is that from you?
2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably get there. Like where we were going, it took 2 hours, and we just picked up a arcade game.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh, right, for the day job.
That's my alarm.
Day of
That's my alarm to wake up.
Yeah. Easy day of work. My brother drove. I slept on the way there, and it seemed like it didn't take 2 hours. So, I mean, it did for him, but not me. You know.
Oh yeah, I was like, well, you didn't do the driving, so that was. I remember in college, I would drive all the way up to like friggin' New York and back. I don't know why we didn't just fly. It was weird, but it was a couple friends who all had family in New York for Christmas, and it was a great time for me because I was just asleep because I didn't have a license yet. I'm like, I love this, and they're like, this is like really annoying. It's 16 hours, and like, well, first of all, they wouldn't let me drive their cars anyways, even if I'm like, I totally have a license, a Taiwanese license. They're like, no, probably smart, but like, I'm like, this is great. I'm
so scared. I'm so scared of driving in America because of the other side of the road thing. I know I'm gonna make a mistake and I'm gonna end up crashing.
I wonder if everyone thinks that.
Yeah.
I'm scared about doing that in England.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
well,
did wonder, dude, like it's such a weird feeling. When I'm in Japan, they drive on the wrong side of the road too. And I'm like, it's just like my brain can't handle it. Even sitting in a taxi, I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
It's upside down world.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do the American road trip kind of thing, but I would definitely be a passenger princess in that situation. That's what passenger princess means, right? That's the correct
I don't know
wording.
what that means. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. I've never heard that before. I think pretty sure you just made that up, but that's okay.
No, it's on loads of women's dating profiles. I'm sure it doesn't mean anything sexual.
It probably does, but yeah, it totally doesn't mean something sexual. That's why it's on a dating profile. France starts on the right side of the road. I think so. I think it's like a bunch of former British colonies, Britain and Japan, drive on the wrong side of the road, and that's about it. Everybody else is normal. It's the one thing that we don't rebel against the rest of the world on, like the freaking imperial system versus metric. But we do at least drive on the right side of the road. So, well, thank you for the link, Alex. Yeah, everybody check out Fiendish 2.5. It's only going to be up on Indiegogo for like another 2 days. It's ending on Sunday. So Sunday will be the last day to back it. Everybody check that out. Also, of course, check out Earthbound Grand Prix Part 2. That is on Fun My Comic. I'll just pull this up real quick.
Last time we talked, it was ticking towards 5,000, and we were going to show a picture of Allie being orange. If it hit it
being orange,
well, yeah, it was only on if it was on that stream, so you guys already missed that.
Yeah,
because Ellie did like this costume party, and then she painted herself orange because she was supposed to be a dressing up as a man with a tan, like a blonde man with a tan. And she sent me a picture in DMs, but we're like, okay, if Narwhal's campaign gets to 5,000 on that stream, we'll show it, but you guys missed out, so you don't get to see that.
Yeah,
you guys don't
now
get to see that.
We're close to 6,000, so if we hit 6,000, we will show you Orange Alley.
All right, cool. Narwhal has so decreed. So
you just get to move it. You just get to use that whenever you want now, every single time. That's the carrot on the stick, the orange carrot on the.
Facing that dragon.
Yeah, Yo's Orange Alley. Well, get Earthbound Grand Prix.
That's a good title.
That's the Netflix version.
Just 6,000 and you'll get Orange Alley. I'm a great program. I'm so good at this. Also, wait, where's the newest? Discover the newest campaign. I'm trying to find lost pages. All right, I do have Cardinal pulled up, so here you go. Sign up for Cardinal. Yeah, look at that.
Go to ConnellComic.com and BlueDickAxe.com to sign up for my comedic fantasy, Connell the Barbarian. It's a crazy, chaotic, raunchy romp through a fantasy world. And yeah, baby. Wait, oh shit! I drew fucking Phil the Barbarian.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I did. I've never even seen that. Oh, that's hilarious.
I forgot I fucking drew that.
That's a little disturbing. That's a good drawing.
This one.
Okay, you saw that. Hey, be careful.
I didn't get anyone to draw in my book at Tampa because like I didn't want to use up anyone's time, and I was like, oh, you know, there'll be another convention that everyone will be at that I'll be able to get this done at. Then little did I know.
Oh, it's Phil showering.
Showering, yeah. People were talking about that. Showers. You guys better sign up to Carnal. I'm sure. Why? I don't know why Jake wouldn't do like sketch cards or something. He does.
I could
cartoony stuff. I think you should definitely think about doing that on the campaign. Sign up.
Oh no, I'll have original art on the campaign for sure. You know, I've actually had people messaging me wanting me to stream again and wondering what's happening with Connell. There is a date that I plan to hit for launching this, and I'm even going to be launch buddies with Phil. I think we're both looking at October. But yeah, now that I've as of yesterday, well, no, I thought I'd finished coloring Fiendish 2.5, but then apparently there's an extra page. So an extra page extra to the one that I forgot even existed.
There's one page you forgot, and then I ask you if you had time to go. It's like this extra, it's a sketch, it's not even a full page, and you said yes, so don't complain.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm overjoyed.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, so I'm so excited to start drawing this. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be I don't think there's many books like a Connell in.
Are you delaying
world,
because
CG.
you've been a fraud this whole time and you're actually not funny? And when
That would be so good. That would be the best, right? It's just a fake project forever. And the funny thing is, you've got like a whole few months to wait until it's even proven to be real as well, so you can track that one out.
Everyone's like, yeah, Jake's the resident expert of comedy. He's seen all the shows.
Well,
wait a minute.
I mean,
and then it's terrible. Imagine it being just really unfunny and cringe. That would be the best.
Well, you do the sketches and drawings though, so I mean, you're occasionally funny. I guess you know some humor. Yeah,
I'll attest to because I've read the thumbnails and they were hilarious. So that's good.
You are kind of integral in Connell being a thing because you read the original script as well, and you were like, yeah, it seems cool. You gave me some good feedback. It was awesome. You were the first person.
Nice. Yeah, actually, I remember one thing I told you to take one joke out, just one, because it lowers the stakes because it was too goofy. Because if it gets that goofy, then people are like, "Eh."
Do you remember which one it was? Because I remember you saying the puns were a bit labored, and that
I also said that. But yeah, it was a joke. He was falling off a cliff, and then he kind of magically survives, kind of by doing like a zip thing, like or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of landing in spikes, he goes.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
that changed.
That
got changed.
Just have him like land in the spikes and be like, it hurts.
That would be great. He just lands in the fucking spikes and he's bleeding out whilst being interrogated. That's the scene where whilst he was floating in the air, he was going to be interrogated by someone. So that would be great if he's dead, half dead on spikes, not being saved, but being interrogated.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not go on about scenes that nobody has seen and that hasn't been out yet.
It's okay.
So,
that's in part two anyway.
Remember that time?
Okay. Real quick, I want to read you guys this mini comic. So this is the official world debut of the mini comic that will come to everyone who backs Grand Prix on Fund My Comic. Everyone's going to get this mini comic. So we'll see where it goes and what it's about. But it starts with, these two guys, and he's tapping his cigar, and he goes, "Next, what is it? It just says banana. Boom. Central or OR? OR. If you go central, they rot. Bananas going OR. What's the exchange rate on bananas? Banana. What? It's one giant banana. Where's it going? Doesn't say. The fees are all paid though. They do that when they have a private pickup scheduled. How big we talking? Then Brad Pitt says, "What's in the box? Open it."
What's in the box?
We're not supposed to. Doesn't hurt to take a peek. I'll say it's an 808. You do the paperwork then. Bzzz. Crack. Whoa.
It looks like fun. It's like a fun challenge to do layouts in this tiny little format. And
Yeah,
you're doing it all in one. It's almost like just doing thumbnails and nothing else.
Yeah, it might
Cool.
be. It might apply to the presentation a little bit, but is it everything you hoped and more? It's amazing. That's one big banana. Wait, what's that? Giant spider!
Oh God, yeah.
The end.
Giant banana means giant spider.
Yep. And that's the origin story of one of the giant bananas in the Earthbound universe, because achievement unlocked the biggest banana in comics history with this one, I think. And then but this one didn't make it to the Grand Prix, but a second slightly less large banana did make it to the Grand Prix, and that's in the Grand Prix. So this is like the origin story of one of the two giant bananas.
All right. Giant banana for the win.
You were like pushing the whole, it's the first comic that has a giant banana in it, and then everyone was like, I don't know, no, well, maybe there's been like a giant banana before, and then you're like, well, how about 2 giant bananas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
Speaking of mind blown, Lost Pages.
Yo, we got a backer today, so thank you guys so much. But look what's here. We got the proofs in today. Look at this. Look at
that.
this. The
Do you have that
freaking
soft touch cover just like
Yes.
before? Yeah.
Of course.
Those covers look
I was
so
thinking
good.
of not doing it on the proofs because it's extra, but I'm like, whatever. But it's on the proofs copy, so you could really get how the colors are going to feel, because if you don't have them, they look a little different. If you print it later with a different laminate cover, but the colors just freaking pop on the cover. My girlfriend has the Bisley cover right now. She's reading it, giving it a last once over. But freaking sweet. It's 110 pages.
Wow.
And look at this. Even the spreads, we spaced them out so nothing gets lost in there. So shout out to my brother who did that, put the hard work in for all these spreads. But yeah, it's gonna be freaking sweet. Look at that splort, Eric Weathers. I got a couple of splorts in this book.
Nice.
Splort action. I
That's
cannot
action.
wait for people to read this. So either tonight after the stream, I'm gonna put the final order in, because I have to add the barcode to the back of the cover for both of them. Either tonight or definitely this weekend, we're going to put the final order in for all these bad boys. And then we have to get some of them printed in the UK, because Simon Bisley's signing, I think, like 25 of them. So we did that the first campaign. We had him do a cover for us. They printed them in the UK. They shipped them to his place. He signed them, and then they picked them up and then shipped it to us. So freaking sweet. So can't wait for it. Thank you guys so much for helping us make this happen. We're so close to 42,000. That would be amazing if we get there. This is going to stay open through fulfillment, and we're going to start fulfilling at the end of this month, at the latest in April. And hopefully when we go to C2E2, we'll have all of our copies for maybe some people that didn't back, or that could pick it up from there. So go get it.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. I like how I think we're both going to print right now and fulfilling around the same time. So
yeah, a lot of people are like that too, which is super cool. A lot of books are going to be coming out in the next couple months, and I'm glad I have this too, because if we're talking about like page turns or stuff like that, I could show you the kind of tactics that I used in the new book.
Sure, yeah. Honestly, I'm just gonna wing it for today's presentation. I was gonna do page turns, and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna do this other like basics of visual storytelling. So this is gonna be all over the place. We're just gonna roll with. I did draw stuff though, so you'll see. I actually tried to prepare. Oh my gosh. So
what happened?
Fiendish Chapter 2.5. I didn't even realize that. I just thought I haven't checked it all day because I'm like the worst. I'm like the worst campaign runner because I'm like I have been promoting it because there's only 2 days left on it, but I'm like I have been so fucking busy all day and I haven't looked at this. So thank you guys so much. 6001. Look at that.
Nice.
Perfect. Perfect. Actually, not perfect, but that's perfect. That's fine. And 160 backers as well. That's like magic. It's like a magical number. 6,160 backers. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so much. Like I mentioned, this is fulfilling next month. We're fulfilling in April. I just put in so the newest edition, the print run for Fiendish 1 and 2 have just gone to print. I've gotten a few questions from people who order through the website, and that is going to be fulfilling it. The books are printing right now, so there are people who ordered Fiendish 1 and 2 on the website separate from the campaign. And I was going to print that last month, but I actually did some extra work, reformatted some stuff, and I've effectively done a second edition for both Fiendish 1 and 2, so it took a little longer than expected. So I do apologize, but you guys should have gotten an email update about that. That is printing now, and hopefully we'll be getting the books by the end of the month and fulfilling that. And then in April, Fiendish 2.5 will be fulfilling it. If you order 1 and 2 with the 2.5 campaign, it'll all ship together. So this will only be up for 2 days until Sunday. No in demand. It's just gonna come down because I want this campaign to be a quick turnaround, and I want everybody to get their books as soon as possible. So honestly, I'm stoked. I'm really looking forward to showing you guys this story. I've been excited about it for a long time. If you like this cover here, do keep note. As I always say, my campaign covers are campaign exclusive for new books. So this cover here, this is the Indiegogo variant. It's the Springtide cover. It's the romantic cover of Casimir Ragnar. And it's only available on Indiegogo. And the whole mass market version, a permanent cover will be something different. So I had the Fun My Comic versions. I have like 2 covers on there, and the Indiegogo cover is this, and you'll never be able to get it anywhere else. So if you like this, then you better back it now, because this will be your only chance until Sunday. So yeah, thank you all so much, everyone who's back this. I'm so happy. Yay.
Yeah, that's awesome. An extra 6,000 for like a couple of week campaign.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I put up stretch goals. So here you can see some art, but I finally put up stretch goals. Our next stretch goal is 7,000. So if we get to 7,000, I will add 2 extra pages of world building content. So I know, I think I like adding stretch goals that are upgrading the book. So if we get to 9,000, which I don't know if, I know I should be positive, but there's like 2 or 3 days left. I don't think we're going to get there, especially for a second chance campaign, but I would very much appreciate that. So if we do get a 9,000, I'll upgrade to paper stock on the book. I don't think we can do perfect bound for this because it's going to be, it's 25 story pages with extra content, 30 pages at the most, but I'll upgrade to stock.
It's better as a floppy anyway. It's better floppy because it's only between 24 30 pages, so you'd be able to open it all the way up. You know what I mean? Instead of having to worry you're going to break a spine.
Yeah. So it's probably it'll most likely be a floppy. I can never gauge it because my other books are always perfect bound. So, but yeah, no, I can't make it perfect bound anyways. Perfect bound minimum is 36 pages. So, but yeah, I always love adding world building content. You guys know, I'm all about the world building. And by the way, if you guys have Fiendish 1 and 2, do read the world building content, and I will give you all a tip. I just added a world building page for 2.5. I was talking to Jake about the story and about where I want the story to go, and I realized there's some stuff I need to establish. This is why feedback is important, guys. It's like I can't talk about what it is, but it'll be interesting. In a few months, I'll be able to say what it is. But yeah, it's so complicated. There's so much stuff I have to establish because I'm laying the groundwork for chapter 3. And anyways, I realized some reveals wouldn't be as impactful and poignant. Oh my gosh, if I did establish a few plot points. So read the extra content and pay attention to all the details of the world building because it's gonna matter. And there will be some stuff in 2.5. So 2.5 is that somebody said this is a filler. I don't do fillers, guys. I don't do fillers. It is a side story ish, but it has main story relevant stuff. Is Casimir's backstory, and you're gonna miss out on a little bit of story information if you don't.
Yeah, with the change she's made, it's actually kind of important for the emotional through line of the story to read this. So it's kind of like become even more important, even more poignant.
More poignant, yeah, more impactful.
Poignant.
No, because it was a standalone one shot at first, and I was being honest when at first it was meant to, up until now, until I literally made this change like 2 days ago. It was character wise important. It was a big character development chapter, but it didn't have a lot of plot to do with the main books. But now I added something in, so I'm like, oh, I really hope people read 2.5. But if you want to order 2.5 with chapter 3, then you'll be able to do that, because I know a lot of people that are in Europe or whatever, I've heard a few customers say they would just want to order it all together. That's cool. But yeah, I'm really proud of this book. Jake has done amazing work. Michael Rushbrook is the artist. This is the first time that I'm writing. I did some of the covers and I did the writing, and I couldn't have asked for a better art team to work with for my first foray into being just a writer on a comic. You guys have done great. So
hashtag just a writer.
Yeah, just a writer. I know that feeling now. Just
really debasing yourself with this one, then, Irene.
I am. Yeah, I'm no longer important. Who are we kidding? Writing's important, guys. That's why we're here. That's what we're talking about.
It's all right.
This whole damn show is about writing better. Seriously, especially in indie comics, people should write better. Comics.
This show is a badly written show about writing.
Practice.
It is. Well, when I host, it is a badly written show about writing. But yeah. So check this out. 2.5. Only going to be up for 2 more days until Sunday. There we go. And thank you, everybody, once again. Yeah.
Thanks.
Once again.
I'm going to grab a snack. 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm like really hungry. Sorry.
Get a banana. Get a big banana.
Yeah, 2. And then avoid the spider one. So
avoid the spider. Okay.
Spider banana.
Yeah, related. It was a callback. It's like a community, a little callback. It gives structure to the show, makes people feel good. It rewards the people who are paying attention to the whole. Even focus. So I'm sure you have a very non-revenge orientated topic to today's show, then, right? Like, because I wasn't here when you were talking about that. Definitely wasn't listening to the YouTube stream whilst getting ready.
No
revenge in the slightest plan for
no,
today.
not at all. No, it's not vengeful at all. Actually, no, it's really not. I don't. No, because I had like no idea what I was gonna do for today's show. I was gonna do page turns, and then I'm like, can I do a whole fucking show on page turns? So okay, guys, this is what the title is. Basically a joke, but it's also not. The title is Poignant, Impactful, and Ornate Storytelling in Comics. But what I'm going to do is, you guys know how I've talked about my first sequential art class. We had this exercise that was taking a comic idea and drawing it in a comic strip, like a 3-panel comic strip, and then drawing it on 1 page, and then drawing it on 3 pages, which is a very, very useful exercise. And there's so many things that you can break down and pay attention to and decipher with. Well, these are the important things that you have to keep in mind for comics, and you can learn that just from doing that exercise. On top of course, compressing and expanding time and pacing and all that. So I came up with like a really simple, straightforward scenario, like a short, not really a short story. It's like it's like a short scenario thingamajig, and I actually spent like half the day drawing that out and neglecting my commission work. So that's great. I hope everybody appreciates that very much.
For shame.
And now that I think of that, what?
Shame on you.
You were trying to avoid you had no time to do anything, so you didn't want to do a presentation. Then decided to use up even more effort by drawing stuff.
This is how I function, guys. I was like, I don't have time. I'm so busy. And then I'm like, I'm not going to do PowerPoint. I don't have time. And then I'm like, you know what? I should do some sketches. And you know me, when I decide to do a sketch, it turns into like way too detailed. So what you're going to see today are supposed to be thumbnails. Keep that in mind.
Fully illustrated comic pages.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. And now that I thought of it, I should have totally had everybody here done that exercise. That would have been.
We all would have definitely done it. We would have for sure.
You know, you have a good point. Done. Nobody would have actually done
it.
So
my mini comic counts. Maybe I say it does, according to me.
It does. Yeah. Yeah, it would be cool to, after I go through my whole breakdown, we can look at Narwhal your thumbnails, because you can, if you don't mind, you're showing that already, so we can break down how you've done your pacing and page turns and all that in your thumbnails. And maybe we can dig up some other comics and just go through it. But I just want to talk about thumbnail layouts and stuff today. So Vanguard said I did pre-press for 2 books this week. I did pre-press for 2 books too. And I'm doing one for the 3rd one as soon as the letters come in. I mean the colors come in. The letters are done. 2.5 letters are done. Yeah, okay, just gonna share. I'll just share my Photoshop. Da, 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 da. There you go. So da da da.
Oh, you do have a presentation then. You even did.
This is a PowerPoint.
This is essentially a PowerPoint, but in Photoshop.
Yeah, what is going on here?
I just typed out something real quick because I'm like, I did drawings, so I want to have a written aid to stop laughing at me putting an effort, Jake.
No, it's just funny because the weeks where I do the same thing, the weeks where I'm most worried about not having anything is when I end up over preparing.
Yeah, go over and overboard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to just be completely honest. Like when I do a PowerPoint though, I sort out my thoughts because I have to think about what this whole structure of the presentation and the subject matter, and I write it down. For this, I was just like, oh, let me just do this comic exercise that I know. So I don't know how the hell I'm going to present this, so I'm winging it. But hopefully you guys appreciate the effort I put into this that I totally wasn't intending to. Please back my book. So this is worth it. Back my book. Thank you. So yeah, I wanted to start with the most important things I think that I can think of when it comes to comic storytelling. And the first, so I have the rule of thirds, a 180 rule, page turns, varying head sizes, varying panel structure, unless it's intentional like Watchmen, and tangents, of course. So I think I guess I'll just go through and explain all of these. I'm sure everybody here knows what it is. So the rule of thirds is basically there's this weird thing in I guess human psychology or whatever, where in like the third, if you divide a panel or a screen, like a block, into thirds like that, these spots on that block or a panel are the most aesthetically pleasing to put something important for the human eye. It's like, I don't know why that reason is, but if you're doing a composition, that's what the rule of thirds means. So that means that going back, if you're drawing a person, for example, you want to put their face here. Or if you're drawing a landscape, you want the horizon line to be either here or here. But if you don't do that, and we covered that last week when, I think, was it last week, where someone brought up a Mignola page, the Silent Comics episode. There was one page where the character was way down here and there was a huge sound effect here, and what that does, it makes you naturally uncomfortable because the rule of thirds is broken. So if you want to make someone super uncomfortable, have the scenery be pushed all the way down here, or have a character all the way down here, or something like the character is only here and this is all black. Like, imagine, just think of that kind of composition and how that would just be a natural sense of unease and horror. So that's what the rule of thirds means.
And if you do that, if you put them in that kind of like tilted composition where you wouldn't normally do, that creates contrast to what you've been conditioning your reader from the previous pages, and it stands out more.
Yeah, like it's kind of like all of the rules you're probably going to talk about. If you and it links back to was it Phil's show where we showed the Mobius comic? You brought that out,
right?
Yeah.
If you're going along with the rules, it'll flow nicely and it'll feel good. But then when you break them, that's when you create a moment where it'll just cause attention. It can create different types of attention depending on how you break it. But in that Mobius comic, like, usually you would say, oh, there's a line of action that goes through the page, and that's the motion of the page. But like every panel, the line of motion in each one was like going in the way you wouldn't expect it to, and that let you linger on those panels. If you'd paid attention, if you'd used the rules, you would have flowed through and read them super quick. But because he was breaking the rules, it was causing you to pay attention more.
Yeah, I can bring that up after this my thumbnails, and we can just start bringing up some comics, and let's do Narwhal thumbnails. I'll bring up the Mobius comic because that is really interesting. I remember a few years ago, Shangar Murphy would do these things where he would like just take like a red pen and then just go over a comic page like, oh, this is the line of sight is bouncing from one panel to the other, and but then everybody would point out, but that's not exactly the line of sight, because comics are more complicated than just you lead the reader's eye from one panel to the next to the top left to bottom right. In general, yes, especially I think for superhero comics where it's very action oriented and you want the action to be constantly moving forward. You don't generally want the eye to linger too much for most scenes. It depends on the tone and the genre that you're going for, but in general you want to here, let me actually draw while I'm talking about this. That would really help. What I mean is, if you have a comic page, for example, and like panels, you want to do your composition in a way where the reader's line of sight goes from here to here, here to here, and then here to here, and then something pushes their line of sight over here. And the way you can achieve that is, for example, we'll have a character in panel 1 that's looking in, let's see, hold on, let me go back. Have a character in panel 1 that's like looking in this direction, and then have another character that's like looking downwards here. But then like there's a motion, like a car is zooming down here and in this direction, but then here there's a visual element in this panel blocking this side, and somebody is running towards screen right, so then you want to turn the page. This is like chicken scratch version, baby explanation, but you get what I mean. But it's not always like that, because as we found out in the Mobius example, in certain genres and for certain effects, like what Mobius was going for, that was something he was going for a more slow pace, and he wanted the reader's eye to linger, it seems. So none of that applied. None of what I just talked about applied to Arshek at all.
You're talking about page turns right now?
No, line of it, direction of motion through a sequence.
Okay, cool. I have something to add.
Cool.
Okay.
So the great artists kind of do that naturally, right? And I'm sure that's a lot of like what page layout is as well. Something that I find myself kind of contributing to that as a letterer is doing letters that kind of flow the reader's line of sight as well. And I was just flipping through the proof today, and I saw this page, and it kind of naturally does that. If you could blow this up, you see how the letters kind of flow in an S shape down the page. And
yeah, those black ones in the middle, that is almost like literally a line being drawn.
right. Yeah. So I saw that. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's kind of cool how it just does that and then flows you to the end of the page. And there's so many different ways to kind of force your reader's eye that way with art or letters or sound effects and things like that. Anything that is an angle that cuts in a contrasting direction to a panel, that stuff really helps you and condition your reader where their eyes are going to move, which I think is pretty cool to think about.
Yeah. Let me see. Is there an example? Might as well. I mean, Bancroft already spoiled all of Phoenix 2 anyway, so I might as well.
Damn it, Bancroft.
Here, okay. This page is on the website anyways, so here is one page where, if I may say so myself, I think I achieved line of sight fairly well, and you can see a page turn too. So on this page here, you start out with an establishing shot where this is a funeral pyre burning out, and this is Yomi and the shamans after her adopted family / masters were they were all killed by this demon, so the funeral pyre is burning out, and the shaman, who's this giant bitch, is walking away, and Yomi is trying to stop her and talk to her. So here the motion is, here's establishing shot, which is important. You want to establish and make sure, try to see the comic from, what I like to do is I try to keep in mind, if I was reading this, would I be orientated, right? Because making sure that the reader kind of knows the setting and what is going around in the surrounding area. It's just like film rules. You want to make sure that you have that establishing shot before you get in all close, and it's not, your shot isn't just all close-ups and stuff. So having an establishing shot is important to start out with. But here, the shamans are walking towards the right, and then Yomi is also walking towards the right. But the shaman, the light kind of can't. There you go. The shaman is turning around and looking back at Yomi. So my intention was to push. Here, let me do this. Was to push the line of sight back down to this panel, because she's turning around and looking back towards the left, and back to the left is here. And as the shaman is speaking, you follow her word bubbles that go down here, and then here's Yomi's thought bubble. Here's her internal monologue, which hopefully will direct you in this general direction down towards here. And then Yomi in this panel, it's really dark, you can't see because of light, but she's also looking towards screen right. And again, towards screen right, the dialogue box follows from here to here to here, and then down here. And you exit the page. This is the last thing the reader is supposed to read, and that encourages a page turn, because the shaman is walking away. It's almost like, well, I want to follow her and turn the page and read more about the story. Oh my gosh! So
well, look at show the page that's on the other side of that spread. No. One page back.
Just manhandling my book.
Okay, so essentially on the page on the other side, that rule isn't being applied at all, and it's making you spend longer on those pages because they're like looking out at you instead of looking through the page. So that is a way that like those rules are being air quotes broken, but it's making you take notice.
Yeah, I guess
everything is very centered in that on that previous page.
It's a pretty ornate page.
I'd say it's very
ornate. I betrayed myself. How dare
I?
It's
about 20%. It's about 20% ornate.
Is it poignant though? As long as it's poignant, then I can forget myself.
It is, because she's sad.
Girl crying. It's poignant.
Good. That's all. If I'm going to betray myself, at least I need to make it poignant. Yeah, I think that with so what I was taught was you want to avoid having characters look straight at the camera, but not as in, well, that's always a bad thing. As in, you should just keep in mind when characters look straight at the camera in comics, because you want to reserve those moments for when it really matters, because that slows down the reader's pacing. Like, it's like, oh, the character's looking right at me. They'll naturally linger on that panel a little more. So those are like little things you should keep in mind when laying out comics.
You're breaking the rules to create impact.
Definitely.
Yes, impactful, very impactful. Cool.
Yeah, of all these two, I'm like, all those rules can be broken to create contrast or whatever,
Yeah.
except for tangents. Like, or maybe they can, but it's hard to think of an example. Like tangents.
Oh yeah,
always,
how would you use tangents in an expert way?
I can't think of it.
I would say if you're intentionally trying to hide something, like if you, and it's not like, oh, we got to use tangents. It would just be like drawing something like a character that is like a chameleon. That's trying to.
Oh,
You know when you could use a tangent if your story is about an eclipse, and at the beginning of the eclipse, it's a tangent.
Wait, why? An eclipse?
Because,
So
yeah, well,
everything is
yeah.
dark?
If it's two spheres meeting, the point where they meet is a tangent, right?
Yeah.
Where the lines overlap.
Oh, I mean, technically, but shouldn't there be like a little halo around it? It wouldn't be exactly.
Yeah, it would have to be a special eclipse that is just not super bright.
Amazing.
I suppose. There you go. The one situation where tangents would be.
I bet you could use a cluster of tangents to make someone feel uneasy looking at a panel too.
Oh God, I don't. Oh, that's just something that is probably. I have a pet peeve for tangents as well. It's like I will go out of my way to. It's like I know some artist friends that if the composition works, then like I'm like autistically annoyed by tangents, especially across panels. Like it's just a thing for me. If you like draw a person's leg here on one panel, but then it just has the next panel, there's another limb coming out near it. I'm like, it looks like you've got a leg going into an arm, and like I hate that kind of stuff. But I know a lot of artists that are like just like they don't really care about that as much, as long as you don't literally have like one line on top of the other. But it's another one of those other things, just like the rule of thirds, that's just how humans find things visually pleasing.
It would definitely draw attention. There's got to be a way to use. I want to try and include something like that. I want to try and figure out how to break the tangent rule on purpose for an impactful reason.
Facebook is a full of tangents.
If Carnal has a stroke, then you could like do a ton of tangents.
He suddenly starts seeing that would be great. Yeah, someone's sick or something, and like loads of tangents start appearing. I like Phil's idea of a chameleon hiding. Like if you have a character that's painted the same as a painting, and then they're slightly shifted to the side or something, and it creates a bunch of tangents. That would be something you're noticing, but you're not supposed to notice.
Right.
That would be a cool use.
Bankroll makes an interesting point where it doesn't, things just touching, that's what she said, isn't a problem unless it creates visual confusion. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
You know, one place it comes up, it comes up with word balloons. If your word balloons like happen to touch like the art, it looks weird.
You've got to move it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's why you should build your word balloons into your thumbnails. I'm gonna append that onto this list after now. Thumbnail your word balloons. All right. I just really forgot to tweet out the stream.
Oh my god!
Wait, you know what? Look. I know you were talking about the tweet, but look, I was literally just flicking through the new copy of One Punch Man that I got today, Tankobon 27. He is literally using a tangent. Make me big. Look,
I guess so.
That's not. I wouldn't call.
I don't know.
I wouldn't call that a tangent.
Those are just two different panels.
Right. I think that. Hold on. That I wouldn't call that a tangent, because a tangent is something that isn't.
Well, it's in the way that
isn't. It's not actually a storytelling device, because. Okay.
You were talking about an arm going from one panel and it turns into a leg on the other panel. So I flicked to this and I'm like, oh, it's a head from one panel turning into a head from another panel. I was like, that slightly relates. So yeah, I know it's not a tangent, but it's like another. You wouldn't do this typically, you know what I mean? Unless you were doing it for a reason, because it stands out. It's like 20% ornate.
I see
25.
Well, I see that half page thing a lot in manga, but you do have a good point with, well, is that a tangent or is it not? I wouldn't call it a tangent because in my mind, at least, tangents are, well, it's unintentional and it there is no story driven purpose and it looks bad. So it's just like, well, you're supposed to, in the general rule for comics is you want to vary your panel sizes, but what about Watchmen? But that was intentional, so it's not a problem. It's not bad, you know what I mean?
Breaking the rules to create impact.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Impact is tangentially relevant. Thank you.
I gotta have dick arms turning into dick legs cross panel.
Oh my god.
Have any of you
I'm
guys
looking forward
ever
to this.
heard of or read the book Framed Ink?
No.
Framed
But I
Ink.
kind of forget. I don't know if I read it.
Well,
but-
it's a comic book storytelling book. It's really good. I think everybody should check it out. And it goes over, I think, all this stuff. Like if you share my screen, I have a portion of it pulled up that's about the rule of thirds, and it does exactly shows what you were drawing.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
sweet.
So
Nice.
it's drawing perfectly symmetrical composition will do the job for an epic or otherwise special moment. But when used regularly, it just feels too self-conscious and convenient, missing any natural feel to it. Compositions are normally better based on off-centered patterns, like when we compose by thirds, which would allow us to achieve this off-centered feel while at the same time preventing us from going too close to the sides of the frame, falling again into a strange and uncomfortable look. Positioning our main elements on any of these axes or on their resulting intersections will help us get an interesting and well-balanced image. So it goes over a bunch of stuff, just like basic storytelling and different compositions for talking, action. It's awesome. So you guys should definitely check it out. My buddy Tommy Patterson turned me onto it.
Yeah, I didn't know about that book. This was our main sequential art textbook, Understanding Comics, which I'm sure everyone has heard about that as well. And this is also a really good book that covers all those things. But yeah, those are good graphics.
Yeah.
Very understandable.
Nice.
Easily understandable. Nice perspective.
I
Oh yeah,
love that
demonstrating
technique.
perspective. Mm-hmm.
That was like a technique I tried to demonstrate in the impact thing because it implies emotion to it.
Yeah, look at this.
Exaggerating perspective always heightens the impact.
Super cool.
The panel. Oh, that panel looks so good. Yeah, that's awesome. What was that book called again?
Framed Ink. I think there's 2 or 3 of them.
Cool. All right, Framed Ink. I'm gonna check that out. Seems like a good resource. Here, I'm not gonna go into too much detail for all of these. I think some of these are pretty straightforward.
She already thinks we lingered too long on the first one, and now she's like, "Wait a minute, I got like a handful of these."
No, it's just I don't think there is a need to. Like, we can if you want to.
They're a little bit self-explanatory, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, are fun, but yeah.
I'll explain 180 rule real quick. So the 180 rule is, so for example, if I have imagine I'm looking at a scene from top down, and there's character A, character B, and character C. And there is, like, especially for fight scenes, keep this in mind. This is a technique that's used in films, and it carries over to comics. Is basically anything that's sequential visual storytelling that aids in legibility. It's so the viewer and reader can be orientated in a scene and they're not confused. It doesn't look like everything is just popping all over the place and spinning, and you see that a lot in some bad action movies, and the reason it's bad is because the choreography isn't consistent and viewers will instinctively know like something's wrong. The backgrounds keep changing. It's because you're not following the 180 rule. So what the 180 rule means is, so here A, B, and C, pick either this side or pick like this side, and draw an imaginary line, and your camera can be anywhere on this side like this. So basically make sure if character A starts out on the left and B and C are on the right, it's always like this throughout the whole scene, unless you cut away or you reestablish the scene and they move. You want to make sure that this is always where the camera is filming from, so they're on the same side of the screen. And I really like the challenge of trying to follow the 180 rule, because there's so many. I find that when you try to push yourself to think of different compositions, there are so many solutions, because you might think, well, then every shot would just be like this. That'll be so boring. But no, you can have like a shot that's like this, or like something like over the shoulder, and the whole the 24 different panels for, you guys know that one?
Yeah.
No, yeah, the different panels for framing devices. That's those are some examples of solutions that you can use. Or you can have like a top-down shot, or you can even have, so the character that's in the foreground is just feet, and this is a character that was supposed to be on the right. This character is still on the right, and this character is still on the left, and this character is still on the right, and you're still orientated, but it's a creative shot choice. So I love coming up with solutions for that role.
There was, and this is similarly to filmmaking as well. People always talk about the 180 rule as well in cinematography. I was watching a YouTube video on there. It was like a not movie review, but movie creative channel where they break down films and cinematography. They're talking about the film Wind River, and there's a scene where the cops come up on these people and they don't know. They're like landowners. Landowners are bad guys. The cops don't know they're bad guys yet. And they keep breaking the 180 rule. Like someone draws a gun and they're like, who are you guys? We need to know who you are. So they keep breaking the 180 rule to disorient the audience, because they don't know if these people are good or not. And the cops don't know if they're good or not. And it creates that crazy contrast of like, what the hell's going on? The cops are dressed very similar to the bad guys as well. They're in like all wearing brown, and so it disorients the audience while you break that. I don't know if you'd be able to do that successfully in comics, like we were talking about with the tangent thing, where if you could use breaking this rule to your advantage, or if it's just going to be like, hey, why did they do that? But in film, you're able to do that, like very quick cuts.
Yeah, I can see that working better in film because there's motion. So I would say the 180 rule is more strict in film. Like, it's in comics, it's a good thing to follow, but I don't even follow it all the time. I kind of ask myself, well, in general, it's a good thing to follow, but sometimes if you can get away with it, then for like one panel and the next panel you go back to it, it's fine. But in film, it is very disorienting if you break that. So that's interesting that you have an example that someone broke it intentionally. I think in comics, to create unease, I think the breaking the rule of thirds would be a better device.
Yeah, there's many more better devices to use to create that in comics than something like that. I think Bancroft has it right in the chat. He says, I just think of it as though you are the camera, or the viewer is the camera. Don't randomly teleport them to the other side of the scene, during the scene. I think that's pretty good.
Good way to put it.
You know what? Bancroft made me think of another good rule that isn't on here, and maybe it's more prescient in film, is the idea of the camera is a physical object that can't like fly through tiny holes and stuff. And so it's the rule would be to put the camera at a sensible place where, like, say, a human head might be and can physically move through. And if you break that rule, it suddenly creates a tension and feels a bit off. You know what I mean? Like, if you are bringing the camera through the eye of a needle to reveal something, or like
right,
through
or extreme low
keyhole.
shot. Yeah, like worm's eye view.
Yeah.
I love those kinds of shots.
because it's a perspective you as a human would never usually be able to see.
Right. Yeah, those are really cool shots to come up with. Comics don't maintain the same chronological coherency. Well, it's more malleable with comics. It's almost like the reader determines the time. You're like helping them. Like you can use certain pacing devices, but at the end of the day, the reader determines how quickly they read the story. But you want to help them stay oriented. I think that's just good practice when laying out a comic. Dung Solo said, what about a character that has a different damage, a side that's different or damage? Right. That's interesting because I don't have the comic on hand, but I grew up reading this kind of detective shonen manga called Eiji or Eiji. It's a little I've never heard of anyone else bring it up, but it's just realizing some stuff. Okay, anyways, it's about this high school detective, a lot like Case Closed, whatever. But he has a what do you call it, retrocognition? When you touch something, you see what happened to the object in the past. And that's how he kind of goes around solving. He's kind of an idiot. He's not like super smart or anything, but there's this like hot detective that he pairs up with because he has this like superpower. So they go around solving crimes. Anyways, so it is just one chapter that's a joke chapter where he has something drawn on his face, and through the whole chapter, the layouts don't really break the 180 rule. But what the mangaka does is whenever the character needed to be shown with this from the side where something was like on his face, what from the side where the drawing was on, but the reveal wasn't until the very end of the chapter, there would just be something blocking it. Like it would be another character or a hand, and remember one panel, I didn't even notice it until it was blatant. There was one panel where the character was just talking and there was just a pot of flowers in the foreground and there was just a rose right here. And I'm like, that's really weird composition. I was like, it's getting a little ridiculous. And then I realized at the end of the chapter, there's something there. But
it's kind of like that. It's kind of like the scene in Austin Powers when remember that where their genitals are constantly being covered by stuff as they're walking around a room naked, and there's always something in the way.
Yeah, that's when a character's naked, but you don't want to like show everything, so you use creative device. Their leg is just barely covering things, or there's just a little bit of smoke where it's like that wouldn't really cover things.
Wait.
But nipples are bigger than that, but whatever.
Same film. Is this a tangent? The scene where they have him silhouetted on the other side of a screen, and you're watching stuff happen, and obviously it's two people interacting, and the silhouette of them combined makes it look like he has a boner or something. You know what I mean? Like, is that technically tangent on purpose to create impact?
You know what? Yeah, again, comedy breaks all the rules. We were saying comedy never counts, but that's a really good point.
But someone could see a silhouette on let's say it's a noir murder mystery thing. Someone could be like falling down in an alleyway after being shot, and then they could see like a silhouette of the person running away, and it could actually be two characters, but the way that they're composed on top of each other could indicate to the viewer that they look different, which could create a red herring in the murder mystery for the reader, right? Do you understand what I'm putting across there? No?
No.
No.
Okay, it's a murder mystery. You've been shot or something, and the person who shot you was running away. Yeah. The character has been shot. You're on the floor, and you're looking up, and like your vision is blurry. The next panel, you see a silhouette, which is supposed to be a clue to who just shot you, right? And it would look a certain way, but it could actually be like two people or someone holding something, and it makes the person have a different silhouette, which creates like a red herring in your head for thinking who did it. No,
I think
it's okay. I give up.
Can't use a tangent. A tangent is a bad thing.
Okay.
If it's intentional and it works, then it's not a tangent.
Phil's about to flip out. A tangent bad. I mean, in general, yeah. Unless it's, but really, humor breaks every single rule known to storytelling. So, humor just likes to fuck with us
Okay,
comedy.
the guy can say, "I got shot by like a 4-armed man, a man with 4 arms," and he could spend the whole comic being like, "It was the guy with 4 arms that did it," and then he realizes he was just looking at 2 people who were like in front of each other, and he thought that it was a one thing with 4 arms instead of like one monster with 2 people.
Yeah.
With... No,
There's
still not
reach, Jake. I think.
For fuck's sake.
We get it, but that guy is we get it, but also that's a really stupid guy.
Yeah.
Goro, he's half dragon, half human.
There's a giallo Italian horror movie where like the reveal, it's kind of fun, but I'm trying to remember. It's like the girl at the beginning, she witnesses something and she knows it's something like she sees the killer and her mom in the same frame, but they're backlit, and then at the end she finds out that the killer had already chopped her mom's head off, but he was holding her mom's head right where
in front of his head.
So it looked like she was still alive or something like that.
Oh, that's creepy. You just reminded. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That's cool.
Well, that cracked the case because somehow the mom was supposed to be not dead at that point, and that's why they couldn't catch the killer. But then they
perfect. That's a perfect real example of it. Yes. So is the silhouette a tangent or not?
But that's if it's unintended. No. I think like that's a Bancroft sums it up. Bancroft sums it up really well, and a tangent is when unintended tangents, I suppose.
No, there's only tangents.
Okay.
There's no intended tangents.
So what is it called when you have an intended tangent? It's
just called good art. I don't know.
That's Irene's excuse for what ornate is.
Yeah, it's just good art, Jake.
I hate everything. Okay, I am confused about this because, or I'm not sure. I would still say tangents are bad because I go to great lengths to avoid it in my compositions, even if it wouldn't cause confusion. I don't visually like things just perfectly lining up in a weird way that would just look weird even at the tiniest detail. But you can use it intentionally to create, just like all the examples that we gave. And I think that's something else. I wouldn't call those tangents. Those are different storytelling devices.
Yeah, so tangents are always unintended. And then if it's something you could consider a tangent but intended, it's just an interesting composition.
I would call it like those are different storytelling devices. Intentional misleadings.
Yeah. Sorry, Phil. I had to get the thought out. It'd be inside me forever, burning.
Like Jake is just here to be a contrarian as usual. But I'm glad he got out.
To provide the basic level of retardation.
Your contrarian self is fulfilled. I'm very glad. All right, now we can talk about page turns. Let's go. Page turns. We kind of already talked about it, but I feel like you were excited about this. So this is pretty straightforward, but when designing comics, and this is something that is not, this is something that writers can use as well. I think stuff like the rule of thirds, 180 rule, that's stuff for the artist to keep in mind. But page turns are useful to keep in mind as a writer because just looking at, like, for example, I learned, and I didn't do this with Phoenix 1 and 2. I don't know why nobody ever taught me this, but so for these, like, I thumbnailed each page separately, but for Phoenix 2, what am I doing? My schedule's right here. No, not Phoenix 2. For Phoenix 3, I'm thumbnailing 2 pages by 2 pages as the whole spread. So what's great about that, I mean, this is chicken scratch. You can't read any of it. But what's great about that is that, first of all, I can make sure that nothing is are these spoilery? Let's see. Are these spoilery?
No one could understand.
Okay, there's a demon fight. Everybody already knows that. So, okay. here, for example, I can make sure that none of these panels across the spread tangent. So for example, the panel lines here won't line up with the panel lines and borders over here. I can make sure that never happens. So everything is clear. I won't have somebody reading a panel here and suddenly their eye jumps over to here because the directional, like the things just don't accidentally line up. You know what I mean? But also, this way I can see my page turns more. So it's like this is an action scene and I have like this is Cosmere charging at a demon and then this is the next page where it's like a big slash. So I mean, don't worry, this is early on. This is not a spoiler. This is way more exciting things in chapter 3. But yeah, this is something that I was kind of proud of. It was like, oh, he's charging at demon and then this is going to be really cool. Like this is the reveal because you want to see what happens as he's charging at this demon and what happens in the next page. So you want to turn the page to look at what comes next. There you go. Okay, that's all you're getting of chapter 3. But
it helps you plan to not put important elements in the center of the fold too, so they do, like that's another rule, not putting important elements in the middle of the spread, because if it's like in a perfect bound or hardback edition, like it's gonna get lost, especially dialogue, like not putting a speech bubble shoved in the crevice. Keep important stuff out of the crevice, guys.
Wait, that's a whole different show. There was a bunch of things that I had on this list that I realized belong in a separate show about prepping for print. And I feel like I want to do a show just on that because apparently there are some things that people don't know about prepping comics for print. I could go over that real quick because that is a great point, Jake. So for example, you don't want your stuff. Look at this. This is a perfect bound book, which most crowdfunded comics right here are. If it's not floppy, like a floppy, you can lay it flat. But if it's perfect bound and it's a thick boy like this, you can't lay it flat. So look at how much stuff is. See, if it's like this is the most I can open it without just like ripping my book, and the page curls over here. So if I have a speech bubble right here, you wouldn't be able to read it. So don't put speech bubbles there. Keep in mind that the page bends and design for that, and make sure no important information is like past here. And you can find like guides for print where it's, especially for comics, where it'll give you a guideline for, okay, this is the furthest you want your panel borders to go, because if it's past that, then it'll get cut off. And then then there's another line that's the bleed about, it's like a 1/4 inch past here that you design into your any print file, not just for comics. You expect it to be cut off because when the machine trims the books at the final stage after binding, there's going to be variation. It can't be perfect. You're trimming like a whole stack of books, so you want to account for bleed. So my digital files for these have like a whole extend like way past here because I'm accounting for all this to be cut off, and that's the only way you can make sure that things don't get cut off. So have your dialogue in the safe zone. Safe zone is like way inside here, and then you have the bleed. That's all that extra art that you expect can be sacrificed, and those are all things that you have to keep in mind for prepping for print. And then there's all sorts of stuff like CMYK profiles and all this other jazz that we're going to do a whole show about fucking prepping for print, because I don't want people to mess up their comics.
If it's not floppy and you can't lay it flat, keep it out of the crevice.
Heard from Jake, keep it out of the cracks. No cracks.
Crack kill.
Jake's anti-crack. Not the rest of us.
I'm very much pro crack. Wait, no, what is crack pack backs? So I guess I'm pro crack.
Man,
are we talking about that crack or
man crack back?
Man crack.
Man crack.
This is slightly derailed. What percentage of page is in the bleed? It's not percentage. It's okay, because the bleed is generally 1/4 inch past the safe zone. So that's the bleed is the area that you expect to be cut off. So it's not percentage, that's just a set 1/4 inch no matter how big your page is. As for the safe zone, I'm not sure. I think I use 1/2 inch. I just have this template I've been using for years, so I don't remember. So, but I think bleed is 1/4 inch, safe zone is 1/2 inch, and anything within it is guaranteed to not be disturbed. So that's where you want to keep your dialogue. Like dialogue, keep it 1/4 inch. I just make sure it's like a whole inch within the page boundaries, because printing errors happen.
I'm surprised you didn't thumbnail in spreads earlier.
I know, I'm surprised too. I was never taught that though, but it's, I mean, I should have thought of it myself. But yeah, it's been really useful. I think I saw Kelsey doing it. I'm like, oh, this is a brilliant idea. It's been super helpful. Phil, did you have stuff to bring up for page turns? I know you were excited about page turns.
Well, something for the double page spread thing. I'll quickly show you here. Let me pull up a double page spread. So the easy to illustrate here. My brother and I do our pre-press together, and he takes care of the double page spreads. This is something we started doing when we did CG Vacation, and so we don't lose a lot of art in the actual crevice for spread. So if you pull up my screen,
Nice.
you'll be able to see. So what he does is he trims off a little bit of the outer edge and duplicates the center. So you will barely lose any art in the middle.
That's cool. That's great.
I see. That is really smart. Right. So it'll look right even with the bending at the center.
Right. So here's, if you make me big screen my camera, you'll be able to
genius.
see the actual, you don't actually see the duplication in here at all, but you
Oh,
get
that is really smart.
all of the art. I think he just came up with that. Like he pulled that, he saw this as an issue and he's like, we could probably get more art in these trades. So
Brandon's a genius.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yes. Oh, Bancroft said he does the same thing.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm sure you heard him talk about it on the hard line, Michael.
These ideas are just floating around, Phil.
I know. I'm sure we've come to similar problems on it. Well, I just avoid spreads because I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with it, but that's a great solution.
Yeah. So if anybody's wondering, try to do that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
There's a bunch of spreads in Connell, and I'm definitely worried about if I'm going to have to trim the physical paper I have down on the sides, then tape them together, because they already have like guidelines on them. In order to.
I'm worried about that too. I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to draw, because I do have like one double spread in Phoenix 3, and now I'm like, I penciled it, and I'm like, how am I gonna fucking draw it physically? Because I know you tape the pages together, but I'm like, but I might need some more. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to? I don't fucking know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
For page turns, I had a pretty good example here. So like the way I look at page turns when I'm writing a script is the end of every odd page, you want there to be a question. And it doesn't have to be an actual question. There needs to be like, you have your reader be intrigued, and then the metaphorical answer would be on the next page. So here's a pretty badass scene from the book. It's also just happens to be another spread. But Jasmine's kicking ass in this underground fighting tournament. She wins. You have Neff here. Shout outs to Neff for being drawn in the book. There's Neff. And he's the ref, and he's like, you did good, kid. And he's gonna pay her out with money. But I don't know if you could see here. They're
looking up.
There's goo dropping down onto the money, and there's like a little sound effect down here, and they're like, huh? And then you turn the page and it's Wastoid, and that's his big introduction. Neff gets ripped apart up here. And it's the first time you see him fully. So you kind of ask a question. Your reader's like, what's this? But there's so many different ways you could do that. Like that is done through art and scripting. But if you are maybe like, oh, I really need a page turn here, and you didn't fully think it through for there to be a big artful impact, you could also do it through dialogue, where you have someone saying something on that previous page, ending in an ellipsis, and then continue the dialogue on the next page. So your reader has to wonder, finish the sentence, which that's a super common, easy way to do a page turn, where you have a sentence start and then finish on the next page turn.
Right. Yeah. Very, very good. Yeah, and that's something I'm trying to do more. I think I've done it. I kept it in mind for Phoenix 1 and 2, but I want to push it further. Like, try to have every page turn be, even if it's not an action scene, have the conversation flow across the page. But at the same time, it's kind of contradictory to this other storytelling technique for comics, where I'm trying to have more full scenes in a spread. Like, if I start a scene, I try to start it on a page turn. So sometimes if I really want like a reveal, let's put it this way, reveals, I try to have it on a page turn. So that means, for example, that's like this page. When you open it on the left hand side, that's a page turn. And like, if you want a big impact, like this page is, this is an impactful page. It's hopefully poignant. It's on a page turn, but this is a full scene. You start here. This is a funeral. You want to linger, and then they have a conversation. The scene ends right here, and there is a dialogue lead for the readers to flip the page and continue reading. But this is a full scene, so that's what I'm trying to do more.
That's interesting. When I was younger, I used to always start a new scene on a page turn, because I'm like, oh, we're done with that scene now on to the next one. But it's actually from reading more manga and looking at your stuff, Irene, that you change scenes like in the middle of a spread. I thought like that.
Oh yeah, I do sometimes, but sometimes it just doesn't feel right.
I'd never let myself do that. I would never let myself do that. I would always like extend the scene so it always changed on a page turn. But like, it almost seems, in Carnal, I've done that differently, where I've started to use the spread to create a scene transition, and then the beginning of the new scene is like the question that the new scene begins with that gets answered on the page turn, like Phil says.
Yeah, I think both ways are very usable. I've done it. I think I do it multiple ways in this book too. Like, sometimes I'll have establishing shots be on a page turn to start a new scene, or the other way around. Like, because sometimes I have scenes that may only take one page,
There's one of them in Carnal.
Yeah. So sometimes there's like very small scenes that take place in a totally different environment.
I've really loved using the idea of having a spread as a scene transition. Like in Star Wars, you get the wipes, or in Archer, like the scene transitions are always the person in the next scene finishes the sentence that was started by the person in the previous scene, and they do that so fucking often. And it keeps the flow going through the whole thing, because they do so many fast dialogue dense cuts that that's the way they string that through.
Well, Alan Moore is famous for doing that in The Killing Joke. If you ever read that book, he has almost mirror scenes, but with different characters in them, representing a transition to a flashback. He does that a lot in The Killing Joke.
Oh, that's cool.
So Joker making a face, he's laughing, and then as a flashback, it's a very similar face, where maybe he's crying or something like that. So Moore would do that even in Watchmen and stuff. I do that in this book with dialogue sometimes. There's a specific scene where Krim is inside Jasmine's mind, and he's screaming like, ah, and then there's a page turn, transitions to a kid running down an alley, and he's screaming, and the sound effect is super similar to the previous one. So that transitional wipe, basically. That's always fun to do.
Yeah, I like that kind of storytelling where that's more, you can do it visually, but also it's more of a dialogue thing. For example, in one scene, the character is talking about, oh, let's say, um, if a character ends the scene like yelling at another person about you just have such a big ego, and then the next scene it's totally different characters, but they just almost continue the conversation but in total different context. Like so this guy's ego has a, like, for example, but it's the same subject, and that adds this flow to your story, and that's always really impressed me. So that's something I'm trying to do more.
Yeah,
I wonder what that's called.
It keeps the flow and pacing going, and everything to do with page turns. That's what it's kind of all about. You don't want your reader to put that book down, so those page turns keep them invested in there and really help things move along.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little self-indulgent because again, back my book. So some more example. Oh, I wanted to, because Jake was talking about changing scenes in the middle of a page. I'm not opposed to it. I'm gonna still keep doing it, but what you mean is like panels like this, right? Where I'll just end a scene in the middle, and it is a manga thing. I guess American comics don't do it as much. Like I end a scene here because I didn't want to force.
Oh, interesting.
Like
they just had the big thick gap.
Yeah, I needed the space to do the action here, and I didn't want to stretch out these two panels to full page because that was unnecessary. So I just ended the scene here, did the big gap, and then we lead into this nighttime scene.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah, that's something you hardly see in American comics.
They do that in manga a lot. And here's another scene. So this was his blacksmith scene where Casimir was talking to a blacksmith, and then here he's just like, the scene ends here where he answers the blacksmith's question, and then there's a little gap, and like I communicate with my colorist knows that this is night and this is day, but also he designed the color scheme to be totally different, so it's not confusing, and you can still start a different scene on the same page, because I'd rather do that than force it if it really is
there's times when you just don't, it doesn't need all that. Like if you were to extend that scene until so that you could just transition on the page turn, like you'd be kind of dragging it out, you know what I mean? By letting yourself do that, you're only giving scenes the time they need. And it also means that like you're not falling into the trap of every new scene is like just a large establishing shot that's on a page turn. Do you know what I mean? Like it lets the overall storytelling visually be more varied.
True. Yeah. Don't I mean, there are rules, but also I think at a certain point, don't force it, I guess. Like I break the 180 rule all the time. It just depends. These things are malleable, but all these rules are good things to keep in mind. Varying head sizes. How do I explain it? You just vary your head sizes. Is another one of those just visual, aesthetically pleasing things.
Like the leader? You guys remember the leader?
No. What's that?
Elaborate, Phil.
The leader is a comic. He's from the Incredible Hulk. He's as a nemesis to the Incredible Hulk, and he. If you share my screen here, you'll be able to see his head.
Oh my god!
Yes, that's exactly what she means, Phil. Yeah, so you need characters with big heads, tiny heads. It's all about the design of the character.
Yeah, I like the leader. Also, Michael Bancroft wanted me to clear his name by showing this, which he obviously just did to the spread from the Lucent One.
Right, Lucent One that came out like a year ago.
Yeah, there you go.
Didn't realize Bancroft had access to time travel.
Yeah.
Nice.
He did it.
He broke the rules.
Break the rules for more poignant and impactful story. That's true.
Yeah,
I never want to hear those fucking words again after today.
I have a way of breaking the head size rule that creates an impactful moment. So that I was just flicking through the new volume of Chainsaw Man that I got, 14. So
Yeah,
obviously
I heard you
this.
picked that up today.
Yep. I got in this on the same day both of these got delivered. But yeah, you can use elements of the same size to show obviously like that same element, it like different like as it's moving subtly. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
You can use that to
Yes.
indicate subtle movement.
All of the rules that we're talking about today are, it's not like you must follow these, otherwise your comic will suck. Not really.
Except for
I
the
think
tangent rule.
Okay, except for tangent rule. So Phil doesn't have an aneurysm.
It would be good for a scene transition too, like Phil said,
F
showing
those
one.
tangents.
I don't know why Phil's camera is pointing out at the ceiling. It's sort of like these are the baseline rules, but if it's purposeful and you're trying to create an effect, like with the paneling, with the breaking, like varying panel sizes thing, Watchmen is like a perfect example where it was intentionally designed to be a grid through the whole, I almost said movie, through the whole comic. And it works because that was an intended effect. And for varying head sizes, I have Fafford and Grey Mouser that I've been talking about forever, but I just love Mignola's work. And this is a very well laid out comic. And I can see a few different, oh, no, there are boobs. I can't show that one.
Show the boobs.
No. I would like to not get my channel completely mute.
If it doesn't have a nipple, it's not a boob.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. So you can, here is a page where you can flip to almost any page, and in general, the general rule is that the size of the characters on the panel, think of it as how zoomed in the camera is, varies across every panel. So the angles and the size of the characters is different. And it's these two guys and they're just meeting and they're having this conversation. But in every panel, it's the shot choices are dynamic. But in certain other panels, for example, here, this is intentionally, like you see this whole sequence where he's climbing down this water corridor. It's intentionally the same figure size, but the environment slowly changes as they go deeper and deeper in the water, and the character is static or just kind of slowly going down, but the environment changes, and that's purposely done to create a certain type of tension. With you notice the environment more because the character and the camera are still, that seems to be, I would interpret it that way, I think. So
it's like time is slowing down with real time, because they feel more like animation frames. You know what I mean? Like it has that effect, almost like a set PC feeling in a film.
Yeah, and here's like a little mini grid where Mignola also broke the you don't always have to vary the panel sizes here. These are, both of these pages are very grid-like. I actually don't like how this is tangenting with here, but whatever. But this was done intentionally to create an effect of, it's almost like it feels very procedural, like this to this to this to this. It almost puts you in a bit of a trance when you see a layout like this and see how these two panels are the same head size. It makes you linger and feel like, well, you're almost a little stuck in time, like you're just kind of lingering on that scene for longer than you normally would.
I've got like another I shared from a way back when. Remember this example that I drew?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's perfect.
But this is another, like you're presenting an array of information that you're supposed to stay on for like an equal amount of time. Like all of these people are essentially the same size and the head sizes are pretty similar, but it's making you assess the information in a very specific way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great example. This is forever ago. This is a good show. In the early days of
In ye old early days.
When Jake used to try. Just kidding.
Fucking hell. I tried too hard last time.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Funnily, these are like two opposing examples. Like you have equal panels, the characters are all the same, but then on the other one you have the equal panels, but it is varying the head sizes in each shot.
Yeah, there you go.
Different effect.
That's a great example to see how different the mood of the paneling is just from those two different shot choices. Cool.
What else is in here?
It is the Mean German Guy. I don't know why the Mean German Guy is in there. You're talking about paneling. It was a whole presentation on paneling. Look at all this effort you used to put in. Wow.
Yeah, look at all these tangents of things from one panel going into the next one, but not really. Wait, the guy getting cut in half. Okay, I know it's not actually a tangent. Tangents are unintentional.
Jake is just here to be a contrarian and drive us all crazy.
I'm here to annoy you. That's pretty much
I know
it.
that, yeah, but you're annoying Phil as well.
Well, Phil's having a shower right now.
I don't. What the?
What? What were these?
No, I remember now. I was okay. I was wondering what, like, the arm. You had like this big veiny thing in the foreground of the shot. I was like, is that Cardinal?
Oh yeah, what's the vein?
No. And then I remember your presentation. Okay.
Yeah, this whole thing. This was like really, really trying to play with rules and breaking them to create like an impact. Like that's the arm comes off the bottom of one page and comes up the top of one page the next, so that when you're holding them open at like this angle in a book, it's almost like the character bleeds, like comes through the bottom of the page onto the next one, right? Like it's like he's punching under the book.
Mm-hmm.
And those two would face each other when you like doing this shit. They like come
We're
apart.
talking about spreads. Yeah, double spreads.
Look, that's the sword.
So is this a preview of Carnal?
No, I just made these up on the
Nice.
spot to try and prove the point of this like spreads thing, because I'd never seen this really done before. And I'm like, this could actually be interesting and
So
impactful.
leave this presentation and go watch Creative Block 2. Because
Let's all just recap our own older shows. That'll be the entire second year of rewatch.
actually, yeah. I mean, we have a whole playlist. It's linked in the description, guys. So please go watch our older shows. We've got a lot of content. This is the 46th episode. We're coming up on a whole year. You're right. We gotta do something about it.
Damn.
It's crazy. All right. I guess I should go back to my presentation. I think that's about it. Watch out for tangents, favorite panel structure. We covered all this. All right. I actually did some drawings. So you guys want to actually see that? I totally forgot. Like,
yeah.
Oh, right. That was the point.
Do it.
Okay. So, what I did was to revisit what I mentioned earlier. I wanted to explore all of these visual storytelling techniques by doing this very basic comicking exercise I learned when I was first learning to draw comics, which is you take an idea, like a short story idea, that's very simple. It's almost like just one scene, and you try to tell the same story in 3 panels, and then tell it again in 1 page, and then tell it again in 3 pages. So what I came up with is let's see. Okay, here's the basic idea: a boy and girl walking together, and then they run into the girl's ex. The ex throws some insult at them. At first, the new boyfriend is held back from confronting them, but then they start parting ways, and then the other guy throws another insult and then gets decked. So it's really simple. Beginning, middle, and end. There's a couple and an ex involved. There's a confrontation. It seems like it's gonna be okay, but then it's not. And the scene ends with him getting punched.
I've been there.
So,
Except
this happened to
Everyone
Irene
getting
on
punched?
Valentine's Day.
No, because I wasn't outside with anybody. I was here drawing. I don't do things for Valentine's Day. So the first version I came up with was just this. So, oh, they're walking, and look, Cap Guy is. These are my thumbnails. I swear. Cap Guy is being an asshole and steering, and the idea was, oh, he's the new boyfriend is looking mad, but the girl's like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't fight. And then here, this guy would. There would probably be like a little dialogue. This will be a little bit of a speech bubble here. He's starting to say another insult, then he gets punched. So there you go. That's the first iteration.
That's an image you can hear. You can hear him go, and the crack.
It was. This was challenging to do 3 panels. I wish I could find the older version because I did one forever ago. When I was obviously taking too much art classes. But here's the basic, and there's some detail that's lost here. But this is the 3-panel version. Yay! When does this comic drop? Nobody wants this comic. This is like this is the most basic.
It is instantly captivating already.
This is similar to the mini comic.
I must have it.
The mini comic automatically gives you a problem that I've been kind of having fun with, but it's that you only get it's one, the real estate of the page. It's an 8.5 by 11 page, but it's 8 panels. So it's 1/8 of 8.5 by 11 is one panel, and you get 8 of those. And it's like, can you even tell a story? Like, good luck. Like, try and figure that out. So it's like kind of a fun challenge.
Yeah, it is. I think the mini comic challenge, I love comic challenges so this challenge was really fun to do, but also the 24-hour comic challenge where you draw 24 pages, 24 hours, which I have finished. That is hell. It's so hard, but it's a great way to push yourself. And then I think the mini comics challenge is one that I hadn't heard of before, but that seems like you also start to push yourself further to tell a story in a very visually direct way. You can't be too flowery because you have this tiny little space. You have to be very clear and concise, right?
Yeah. I had it. You'll take an idea that you might have had, and then you're like, oh, I really have to boil this down because it can only be these 8 tiny pages.
The pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The pacing and shot choice are more important. You made a new boyfriend smaller person. Yeah. Okay. Let me actually think about what shot choices, what design choices I made here. So that was on purpose. I wanted the couple, which in this story I viewed as the protagonist. We're seeing the story from their point of view because it's the ex that's being an asshole. So let me make the ex bigger and look more intimidating to make it feel like more of a challenge. And then it's sort of this thing where, the new guy has a surprisingly good right hook. So here, panel 1, rule of thirds, I'm following that. And for most of these panels, it's rule of thirds. And also I'm varying my shot choices, head sizes, all these things. I'm trying to keep that in mind. Is there any I didn't follow 180 rule? In the last panel, I thought a top-down shot would be more impactful for that, but I don't know, maybe there could have been better.
You've even drawn a line through all 3 panels using where the heads are height-wise to the punch.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Well, that's all of these things. Someone experienced does them intuitively. Look, you got the whole freaking wind blowing through to the punch of all the heads.
What wind? What are you talking about?
It's like the line feels like wind blowing through the pages. It's not actually wind.
Are you a stroke?
Yeah. I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke right now.
You're talking about the wind.
It's a curvy line that goes like that. So I always think I always think of lines of action as wind blowing through the sequence.
Okay.
Thank you for explaining that.
Like you have the lines and the leaves in it, all the elements of the leaves in the wind.
Ornate.
Let us know if you taste pennies, and we'll call someone.
Yeah, I will. I'll draw some ornate.
Draw the wind.
Yeah. Oh, here's Leaves fluttering. Look, I'm leading the eye across there, so Jake doesn't feel as crazy as he is.
There you go. Now everyone's
look.
having a stroke.
Wow, amazing! It's the visual storytelling. I'm connecting all the panels. Okay, so
Wait,
it's the first
draw it-
version. What?
Okay. Oh, the first virgin.
version. Okay, so here's the second one. Do I need to zoom in? Zoom in a little bit. Okay.
You penciled the whole fucking page.
You did, Jake.
Oh my
called
God.
this. Jake, you totally called this.
Oh my
yeah, it
God.
looks finished.
How?
Like finished art kind of.
Wow. This is just.
These are my thumb. You have seen my thumbnails. These are my thumbnails.
How long did this take you to do? How long did this particular page take you to do?
Like an hour.
Just do a whole comic like that for shits and giggles.
All right.
Guys, I am already at this point with Fiendish 3, and these are my thumbnails. Anyways, okay. So, go moving on. Yeah.
You
so
did it for the show. That's awesome.
look at the effort I'm putting in. My effort.
You know, you could do if you have thumbnails like if your thumbnails are like this in a comic, you can totally print them as like a side book with all the like as a process book. These are great process book content, but
apparently I'm going to be printing my thumbnails. Apparently I don't need to do finished pages anymore. I'm just going to start printing my fucking thumbnails and just let it out. Fuck my life. I've been trying too hard, guys. What have I been doing? Yeah, I did this. Listen, I wanted everything to be clear, and I swear this didn't take me a long time. I did storyboards, so doing like simple drawings that are pretty clear to read, it is pretty fast for me. I didn't spend that much time on this. So this is the same story, but I was able to add in more details. So with the first example, or the first version, let's see, so the beginning shot, I kind of merged, so couple walking and then X walks up is all in one panel here, right? But because I have more space when I expand it to multiple panels across a page, I can split that what was originally in just panel 1 of the comic strip into 2 panels. So now we can let the story breathe a little more, and the couple is walking in panel 1, and then panel 2, it's interrupted by the X walking up. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I would do this differently. That's not good. I should have the X on the right-hand side, so that's like a barrier to the line of sight. And if you know what I mean, like if the back of his head was on the right-hand side, that would push the reader's eye away, because that's like a wall, and you would go down to panel 3 more. So, live self-critique. And here, same storyline, but I was able to let the story breathe in the middle again. She kind of like convinces. That's the boob shot. I was like, let's get a boob shot. And why not?
Does it without words.
That's her holding him back. Like, don't fight him. It's fine. He's like, Jim's an idiot. It's fine. Don't worry about him. Let's keep walking. But then in the bottom, like panel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and panel 6, where he turns around, he throws another insult. Then he gets punched. So I was able to add more steps to the same story.
That is a beautiful.
That panel represents like the battle in every man's heart is to choose titties or to punch another guy.
There you go. I didn't even realize. Lovely. I don't know if people really are enjoying this, or this is like just a joke.
No, I love the extrapolation
No,
story.
This is great.
This is fun. I like I enjoy doing these exercises. Honestly, thumbnails and layouts are the most work intensive stage of comics. All the other stuff is just making it pretty. All right, and let's see. Yep, rule of thirds, that kind of comes naturally after you've been doing it for a while. Though I did kind of break it for panel 3. So the couple, they're on a thirds, but you notice the X's head, I try to push it a little bit further up because I want him to feel taller and also a little bit add a little unease to that scene. I wanted him to feel threatening, especially because he's further away from the camera, because I've established him as needing to be on screen left, which I would change it if I was gonna change panel 2. But anyways, I do it differently if I would rework this page. But because he's further away from the camera, I was like, oh, I have to make him feel intimidating, so let's push him up. There you go.
It's the girlfriend is using her mind control powers to make her boyfriend into a zombie to punch her ex. Is the last panel.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening.
Every girl's dream.
All
She's
women
like,
technically
"Ah!"
have mind control powers strapped to the front of their chest.
Notice. That's news to me.
Or hidden under their arms.
Yeah, that's exactly. I guess so. I'm discovering this fact. And then, so the final form of this story. All right.
Oh,
so
she's got the page turn ready.
I do. I have a mask out of the page turn ready. All right. So we start, and again, I let the story breathe even more. And they're all walking and in bliss in this like lovely little park, and they're like, oh, look how happy they are. Look, this asshole walks up, and this asshole's like, oh, I see, this whore's your problem now. And then actually, in the other versions, I had her holding onto his arm. Then I realized, because I wanted to do this shot with them holding hands as a framing device, in this version I had them holding hands, because I was like, oh, that's an interesting framing device that I could use. So I don't and I made it a bit of an upshot, so that still felt cool. Like a little more
they're both grabbing his dick.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening.
That's the subtext. That's the subtext.
Yeah, I did notice that after I drew it. I'm like, that's right over his crotch. Well, that's fine. That probably is like some kind of subtext that works with the story. What the fuck ever. So here is like, oh, that confrontation scene that was pretty similar to the other ones. But then she's like, oh no, it's fine. Jim's just a dick. Don't mind him. And then they walk away. And
he bolts. I like it.
Here the story breathes even more, because instead of jumping from here, this was the last version where they part ways in the last row on the left. See this panel here, you can see my mouse, and then immediately the ex turns around to throw his second insult. Here we can let it breathe a little more. So there's a panel where the two guys are walking away, and he's like stewing. He's like, I wish I could punch him, and then he's like, oh yeah, so blah, 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 the horrors, blah blah blah, she's a bitch, and then he's like, oh yeah, I finally get my chance. So he breaks away from her, and then
hey, I want to guess what happens on the next page. Well, I guarantee I'm wrong, but I feel like he's going to punch the ex-boyfriend, and a tooth is going to get knocked out of his face and fly right into his girlfriend's mouth, and she's going to choke on it.
No, exactly you didn't write this, Gnarl. That's if you wrote it, that would happen.
Twist.
I like on the last version you had an excuse for a boob shot, and in this one you had a good excuse for an ass shot right there.
Yeah. So I should have kept my earlier version. So here in this panel, originally it was just there. I was like, well, I wanted to have him like originally first it was him turning away from her, like looking angry. And I'm like, that's too similar to panel 3, but also not good enough. I feel like I like coming out with shots that aren't just the character's face, and then it was their hands parting, but that's too similar to this panel on the page on the left. And especially if this is a spread, that would be repetitive right across from each other. So I don't want to have this being hands and this both being hands. So I decided to break up this hand shot with this hand over here with her, and then I'm like, oh, perfect, ass shot, there you go. I'm sure the readers would appreciate that. So
I read really fast too before you reveal. Down Goes Solo made a funny point, and I want to do alternate dialogue too, that you actually can flip it. So go to the first page really fast.
Okay.
And they're like talking, and then the ex-boyfriend goes, glad to see you finally found someone, Janine. And then he goes, hey, buddy, don't talk to she's my girl now. And he's like, okay, you two have fun. And then he's like, that fucking bastard trying to talk to you. I'll show you. You're mine now. And he's like, I just want you guys to know that I'm happy for you.
That's great.
I was just like, oh, he's just being really nice. Everybody likes Jim. I failed.
Yeah, he's the cooler guy. The other guy looks like a bit of a Finally, I got a girl. Now no one's gonna get her. She's mine now. Really possessive.
He's a possessive one. All right, cool. What a twist! What a twist! You guys are surprising me. I'm a little worried, but well, no, it's fine. Art is meant to be interpreted by the consumer. All right. I mean, are you sure you know what happens in this page? Are you certain? Are you absolutely sure?
No, what really happens is
Roundhouse kick.
the guy
Kung fu.
he pulls down his girlfriend's shirt to reveal her boobs, and then he's shouting, "These are mine now, bitch!"
Hold on. I had a character do that in a fight in Pathfinder. I was so proud of myself. I was like, because I have a character that does, it's called Dirty Tricks. And so he's supposedly, he'll like fuck with your opponent, like throw sand and stuff. I was like, I'm trying to be creative. I'm like, oh, my opponent's a girl. Such an asshole.
Now that's a tangent.
Bum, 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 bum. It is. Oh yeah, it's just a big old punch. So there you go.
Nice.
Yay!
A toothless punch.
The actual protagonist. Jim is the hero of the story.
It's interesting seeing 3 versions because the first one is almost not enough, really. Like you need like 4 panels, maybe even. But the 3, it lets you know that 3 is like kind of not enough almost. And then the 1 panel totally worked. But it was like, I guess, kind of really fast paced.
Yeah.
And 3 is is like, depending on what you need for the story, you might choose 1 page totally. It could totally work. But the 3 is kind of nice to have all of it. 3 is when it got opened up to more interpretations too. More.
Where it was, you can let it breathe a little bit and add more characterization. I think that's it, because you can, I notice when you have less panels to work with, you kind of cut everything down to, it gets colder, Narwhal. It's all plot, because you don't have time to add all the character moments and like indulge a little bit in their expressions. But I think, because like, even when just normally thumbnailing for my books and stuff, when you have to condense things, I'm like, I don't have enough pages. I'm on a deadline. It's like you boil it down to the plot because that's the bare bones. But if you have the luxury of having more panel space, that's when the character moments and all the like little expressions come out.
Yeah.
You're insane. You're insane. You did this. You didn't just do 2.
Yeah, you literally drew 4 pages in a day. That's cool.
Because you were under so much pressure in your own fucking head that you were like, I need to be really good, and then you go back to the 3-page one. It's just great.
This literally all 3. This took me like an hour and a half. This doesn't take me that much time.
Start offering people. Give me be like, hey, you can pay me, just give me a loose script, I'll do your thumbnails for you, and then you can bash out whole comic thumbnails sets for people in like a day and make loads of money.
I actually did start adding that to my commission list, so by the way, I'll do layouts. Cool.
Yeah, I had Alan Alonso did the layouts for Lost Pages 2, the silhouette story, and then Maxie used those layouts to do the final pages. I would love to print those original layouts to show the difference. It's really, really cool to see.
Right. It's cool that readers are really interested in layouts and process work. It's like I realized a lot of stuff that as an artist I would find kind of, this is just chicken scratch. Nobody's interested in this shit. Like, but people really like seeing it though. So, which is cool, but also I wasn't expecting it. So I might publish more of my thumbnails and like the, shout out to Perfect 10, Dave Brink. He has a hardcover edition of Perfect 10 out, but it's not just a hardcover artist edition. It's he actually has the thumbnails and layouts and all the details on the opposing page, so you get to see the whole process for each page, and it's also like an oversized edition. It's kind of cool. But
Bancroft's talking about like, screw that, get into storyboarding. I mean, you've worked in animation. Have you actually done storyboarding on anything you've worked on, or did they not let you?
No, I've done storyboarding. So this is This is my storyboarding style, basically.
Just want to pay you to thumbnail stuff now.
Yeah, no, I added that. Someone asked me, so I am adding that to my commission. Not to turn this into a sales pitch to get more work, but yes, I'll do your thumbnails. I love doing layouts. There you go. I don't have time to do finished pages, but hire me to do thumbnails. Thank you.
Someone's gonna do that. Get your thumbnails and then publish it.
Yeah, just print the thumbnails.
Yeah.
No! Ah, damn it!
Color the thumbnails. That's it. I'll pay you to do thumbnails, then I'll color them and publish that. Great idea. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn it. You figured it out. Oh, get ripped off. Oh, look. Yes. Lost Pages 3. I guess Henry back. Lost Pages 3. I am sure it'll be amazing. But yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed that. That was fun to do. My next comic is going to be a dating drama campaign launching this fall. I hope you guys look forward to the saga of Jim and his ex and her new asshole boyfriend. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Ding!
I love
It's got legs. It's got lightning in a bottle. You've struck gold. Jim.
Yeah, I guess so. I was surprised.
It has that completely not trying finesse to it, where you're not painting over something, so you end up doing a really good job. Whereas if you were trying to do something more meaningful, you would agonize over it forever, and it just wouldn't be as lightning in a bottle-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, TC says it's got legs and boobs.
Yeah, I'll make sure to have a lot of boob and ass shots.
Can I show you guys some Nosferatu real fast? It's applicable because of the paneling. Yeah. So if I flash through the pages, you can see. Can you notice anything?
Oh, it's all the same.
That's neat.
Interesting.
Same layout. Yeah,
and then you have splash pages at just once in a while.
Yeah.
And doing this was sort of like an exercise itself, but a lot of fun things came out of it. Like if I wasn't doing this rule, I don't think I would have done the biggest panel on the page being the POV shot just showing the book he's reading. I probably would have done it as a smaller panel.
Sure.
But it just kind of worked out that the big panel gets to be that story beat. And so that kind of stuff, you see all these little times where you're kind of breaking your own rules that you normally would have done, and seeing that it still worked is kind of cool. The other thing that happens a lot is starting here and here, even these two pages, it's kind of just following the movie, I'm just kind of following the movie basically, but he falls and then he looks up at the moon, and then it cuts to the next morning and there's a boy playing trumpet over his possibly dead body. And then you see the boy, and then you see his wife thinking about him, and then you see the boy stop playing. So it's 3 locations and 2, possibly 3 timelines on one page, which is packing it in there.
Right.
Then it's you see the oarsmen delivering the coffins, and you cut to a church. It does get an establishing shot. Which sometimes, if you don't do that, it can get kind of confusing, or you need to do the narration box or whatever. And then you're in the church with the guy. Then you're at the docks with the black coffins. They've already been moved. These guys are talking about them. Crack them open and see some rats. And you're back with the guy in the church. So 3 locations and multiple timelines on that page. So, and that kind of ended up happening on lots of pages when I was okay with it. And even to this day, I kind of like trying to, if I can, and in this case too, it's 7 panels, which is kind of a lot. So if you tried to avoid that, if you're I need to, fill this scene out so it gets to the next scene on a page turn, sometimes that's not the best, because then you're delaying when you shouldn't be, kind of.
I love how it's very cinematic. These are really
yeah,
it's cool
and
how you jump between so many locations, but it's pretty clear because every location has a specific design element, and obviously it's all established, it seems, so it wasn't confusing.
Yeah, And a lot of that comes from the movies. But and then like also I guess kind of coming from the movies is like this is again like it's less varying the head size, and then you get more of the repetition rhythm kind of thing, which that's a little more cinematic. Like this is almost like frames of animation of the guy tying himself to the mast. Yeah. And then we were talking about eyeline. Like if you get the eyeline just right, usually that helps. Like he's like looking up here, but it's you can tell he's looking at something and you want to know what he's looking at. So you kind of if you get that right, then the next shot's like this is straight from the movie POV shot of Nosferatu walking on the ship, and then it cuts to like the next morning and he's dead. And that's so that's like a whole page. That whole page covered 8 hours, and a guy died, you know, kind of in between panels. Mm-hmm. So like it's just all over the place with the pacing, and that was kind of a fun aspect of it actually. Working on it.
I'm finally reading Dracula, so now I actually know what you're talking about, what happens here.
Yeah.
After forever, I never read Dracula before, but that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I read Dracula to research this project, and Nosferatu is based on Dracula. It's very similar, but there's a lot of differences too. And some of the differences are really awesome. Like the guy who did Nosferatu, I forget his name right now. He's like he's a total genius though. And
they're doing a new one.
Yeah, it's from one of my favorite filmmakers too. He's like I forget his name now too, but he's awesome.
The guy, that one.
Yeah,
is that Eggers guy?
Yeah, it's Eggers, Robert Eggers. In Dracula though, I remember. No, I think Dracula has a mustache. That's the main thing I remember. That I was like, "What? He's got a mustache."
I haven't seen the movie.
No, I mean in the book. I'm pretty sure in the book he has a mustache.
You describe it like that?
Yeah, I don't know if you got to that, Irene. Can you confirm?
No, I don't remember. I'm still at the part where they haven't solved the whole mystery, but they're like approaching it. They're like in the asylum, and what's her? Damn, forget the chick, the one who got married. She's typing up all the notes and putting the timeline together, and they're about to like figure everything out. Yeah,
nice. The other thing cool. I kind of remember from the book is that Dracula is like really nice, kind of, but then he's a dick like behind the scenes, and the guy eventually catches on. But Dracula's like, "Help me with my English. We can hang out. Like, how is my accent? You need anything to eat? Like food? Just relax. We'll have a good time." Like literally, that's almost like how he talks. And then he's like, as he walks away.
That was how it was though in the books. Like in the book at the beginning, he was kind of cool and impressive. Like he was in this freaky ass castle, but he was like, oh, so like civilized and nice. And I was like, oh, I want to learn all about England. And he was such a great host. And all of a sudden, weird shit happens, and all these like vampire ladies, and oh no, you're a prisoner. Like what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
Surprise vampire.
Yeah.
Nosferatu, yeah, Shanta's also making Nosferatu too. Awesome. That was cool. Thank you, Narwhal. Did you want to talk about your mini comic?
Yeah, maybe we can look at that. Let me see.
Take a quick look if any of these storytelling devices apply.
Dracula is a cheeky boy.
I guess he is. I noticed in Dune 2. I don't remember in Dune 1, but I noticed this in watching Dune 2. The a lot of shots, and so the movie, everything felt grandiose and things were so big. And I mean, you guys have seen Villeneuve's filmmaking and how he makes everything feel like really grandiose, but also like very close up. And I really like his visual storytelling, but I noticed that a lot of that is like, oh, let's just totally break the rule of thirds. It doesn't matter when you're trying to just have a huge room or like a huge sandstorm and the people are tiny in a corner, and it's all about in relation to the screen and how big the people are. That's how you make something really feel grandiose. So anyways,
oh, nice.
Realize that. Watch the movie. That's a good movie.
Yeah. I'm noticing as far as with the 180 rule, I follow it, and I also like kind of break it. But I think the main way you follow it is like the tall guy with the cigar is always on the left when they're talking, and the other guy's always on the right, unless it's behind them because I have to show the box. Then that has to break the 180. But I kind of think that is even allowed in movies because like it's weird if you have a round table. There's like they say one way you can do it because no matter what, if you have a round table, you're going to break the 180 degree rule for someone if everyone's talking, you know. So you can go in the middle and just shoot out. That's what John Carpenter said he did for The Thing. He's always 8 people in the room, so he would always just get in the middle and shoot out. But the other thing you can do is, I guess if it's like the 2 people talking, they form a line, and you don't want to cross that because that will flip the people talking. But it is like there's like a right angle to where you're flipping, so it's like a cross. And I think you might be allowed to do the exact flip, like because I don't know what you'd even do, because if I have to show the box, I guess that you could stay behind them the entire time.
Just have the camera go upside down.
As long as you have as long as you have a differentiating element to the character's design, it's kind of a lot more okay in comics. And you establish that in the very first panel of the first page. You literally have half the page taken up by his cigar. So then throughout the rest of the scene, even if there are like 180 breaks, you know you're always looking for the cigar. Like that's kind of what I do when I'm reading manga, is try and figure out what the design of a character's fucking hair is.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you know if it's the same guy throughout the whole sequence, because they'll have the same fucking face.
And
by the way, oh sorry, just like speaking of just like tiny tangent about character design, that's why it's useful to add something distinctive in your character design on your character's hands or feet, because sometimes you want to come up with a shot choice that isn't just like, you don't have to show their face. If their hands have something distinctive on it, like they always wear certain gloves, that then you can just have their hand and then you know which character it is. Okay.
Yeah. You know, we literally me and Jared had to do that for Hotel Story because someone gets their hand chopped off and it's actually kind of important to the story. And that was a note from the editor early on, was they're like, it's kind of confusing because other people get their hand chopped off too. So we need to differentiate it. So we made sure it was big because it's a big, strong guy that gets it chopped off. But we gave him tattoos of his fist that say Jack and Jill on his knuckles. And so we had to change an earlier scene a little bit and add that, and it changed the dialogue to where he said earlier he just says like, "Don't worry, folks, I'll get us out of this," and he kind of flexes and opens a door. But we changed it to, he goes, "Don't worry, folks, this is nothing old Jack and Jill can't handle."
You draw attention to it. You don't just do the design; you draw attention to it with a bit. Yeah. That's great.
And there's one panel where he kisses his own hand, and I love it.
And then he loses it. Perfect.
Yeah. But so with this, the one other big thing that came up is when you leave quite a bit of nice room for the dialogue bubbles. This is why this frame is, this is the one on 3x3 grid. I use them a lot because you can always just use the top for dialogue and the bottom for art kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And when the dialogue has lots of room and it's not covering any art at all, like any important art, that always feels really nice to me. It feels very like nice to read, nice to create, and some, like even this one, like because it got kind of cramped because I put Brad Pitt in there. It's the words kind of covered almost too much. But if Brad Pitt wasn't there and all the words were just in the top over black, that would be very nice and feel really nice.
What's in the box?
Yeah. That's the other, this comic was an opportunity to use a meme, which is just kind of funny because mini comics, you can kind of do whatever. And the other thing that kind of makes me laugh is that it's sort of a joke, but it's a joke without a setup. There's like literally no setup, but you just hope that inherently people know that sometimes in shipments of bananas, there's a spider. Therefore, in a shipment of a giant banana, there may be a giant spider.
I did not know, but now setup. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's meta. It is. Yeah.
No, the more you know.
Yeah, and I couldn't get the spider to look right until I added a little texture, and then he looked really creepy and cool.
Ooh,
to get the fur going on.
Mm-hmm.
that's a proper spider texture right there. I'm gonna be terrified of ever buying a banana.
This is the conclusion to Narwhal's adventure of becoming not scared of spiders anymore. He was scared of them, then he got into the jumping spiders and thought they were cute. Now he's putting one in.
Did I tell you the original idea that I couldn't do it because it's a mini comic? I could do a sequel, but I'm like, I don't care. It's kind of fun that I'm like, people are like, what happens to the banana? What happens to the spider? I'm like, I don't care. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, this is just a mini comic, dude. But
well, literally in the book, in one, you could have in one panel two guys getting eaten by a giant spider, or you could have a giant spider just in the background of and then it links in, but it's not like
the continuity
part of the story.
Yeah, the main way, it kind of links in is just there is a giant banana in Earthbound, but the other thing, I was gonna say one thing. Oh crap! What were we talking about? Is that the spider?
Your love for spiders blooming.
The story. So how the story would finish is they hide and the spider's in the docking bay and they're making all these plans to kill it. So they're getting the fire ready and stuff, or like the flamethrowers, and they're thinking of all these ideas. But little do they know that one guy amongst them wants to save it for no reason too. He's just like, I'm going to save it. So
it's my pet. I'm gonna write it.
Yeah, so he like finds a way to get it on a ship and jettison so it survives, and he puts it on a planet. And he's just the little guy who wants to help spiders. He's like me.
Aww.
He screws over all his friends who are like getting all badass ready to kill the spider. They're like, burn it with fire.
Oh my god!
Let's burn it.
Yeah,
he's like, let's burn it with fire, guys.
It's the reverse horror. Instead of having like it's supposed to be like the creature is like Alien, the creature is following you. People are getting picked off one by one, and you're trying to eventually escape or kill it. Like it's that, but you're trying to save the creature because you're like it doesn't know any better, but we need to save it because it's not actually a movie monster. Like saving the T-Rex instead of trying to kill the T-Rex. Chasing you.
Julie, what's up, Julie, in the chat? Julie says the banana looks kind of like a penguin.
With the beak and the stomach with that line. And that shot, it looks like,
smoking a cigarette.
Penguin.
It does look like that. That's funny. Now I can't unsee it. And then the spider is going to be dropped on an alien planet, and then the spider is going to terraform the planet and turn it into spider webland or some shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dango Sola says, what if it's trying to protect you from the banana?
Oh my.
Yeah.
What a twist.
What a twist.
Yeah. It probably means no harm. It's just like crawling out, but unfortunately it looks like this. Looks like evil.
And it's not very inviting looking. But we love it. Jumping spiders are really cute.
Yeah. They do the head tilt thing too. They tilt their head like puppies.
Aw. Tarantulas are cute too. They're fuzzy and furry.
Whenever I see a tarantula in a film, I always get on edge because I'm like, that thing's probably really delicate and you guys are probably not being careful enough with it. And I always just imagine someone dropping it and then like its abdomen lands on the ground too hard and then like ruptures. Like I'm always preempting its abdomen rupturing whenever I see a fucking tarantula.
Does that happen?
I think so.
In my head, it's always prone to happen. I'm looking at that
tarantulas
big booty.
Can't survive, a big fall like any other spider can, but tarantulas can.
Oh, that's weird.
But they're too weighty, though. Because
they're fat.
Like the other spiders, it's like almost the air would slow their fall because they're so light, I think.
Yeah, the tarantulas, it's like, when that booty gonna pop?
They're cute. Spiders are cute. I'm not scared of spiders or snakes or anything else that apparently I'm supposed to be scared of. Well, cool. I guess that's the presentation. Second half?
Do it.
Y'all?
Yeah.
All right.
Video to share.
Here, I want to show you one more thing. I've showed this before.
Feels like I almost got out of here.
Yeah. Real quick. This is the banana in Grand Prix. The giant banana gets revealed.
And the vagina hood that was over it. that's now being lifted.
It's the peel.
It's very
Is it?
phallic and vaginal.
Yeah,
But-
it's just a giant
anyway.
metal covering kind of thing.
Oh, okay. I'm very confused, and I'm very much looking forward to why there's a giant banana in this story.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got
Cool.
a video ready to share in the second half.
Okay, all right, we're gonna go in a second. Don't leave. I'm gonna play a cat video that's very loud, and we're all still gonna be here. We're gonna just. This is gonna be the chill section of the show where we will
Phil takes
just
a
hang
shower.
out.
It's where we wait for Alex to do the meme and then we end the show.
Oh
when
yeah,
he's done.
the meme.
Yeah, Phil's gonna stream from the shower. I'm gonna get drunk after the break. Don't leave. Hola. And Jake isn't even here. What is
Wow.
Speaking of scary things that
Oh!
end up being
The squeeze.
but
Mike Coon.
Mike Coon did not save us.
I can't hear what they are, Jake.
Well, I mean, because we were talking about spiders that are spiders are usually scary, but then jumping spiders are cute. These are baby white bats.
Oh, bats
Yeah,
aren't
bats-
scary though.
Yeah, bats are pretty adorable. My
They're
dog.
adorable, but people look, they're traditionally
I
used for
understand.
scary reasons in media, right? But then they turn out to be actually cute.
Fruit
Mhm.
bats. Fruit bats are very adorable.
Bats
Very
are all
fruity.
cute. They smell like shit though. Like
Some
when
of them
I
are
lived
just
in
ugly.
Austin,
Can't smell as
some
bad
are-
as hedgehogs.
They're ugly cute. But in Austin, there was like a bat bridge where just a lot of bats lived under it.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
was like, oh, I heard that, oh, it's just like a cool place to go. And then I went and I'm like, why do people go here? Yeah, that's a lot of bats, but it smells so bad. Because bats stink. But, you know, they are very cute. But stinky. That's adorable. Oh my gosh, they're like little balls. They're fuzzy. I want one.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
adorable.
Thank you, Jake. Apologies for everybody's ears. All right, I'm gonna go get my drinking glass. Booze time. Booze time.
I was waiting until she left before I could say this. Again, with the spiders, the thing whenever I see a unique looking animal, I'm always worried about part of them getting injured. And it's the tip of their noses. It's like that's gonna get cut off by something.
What is?
Look at the little noses, the tip.
Oh,
they have like the
their
flat
noses?
and then it like pricks up into the air.
Yeah.
I'm like, looks so delicate. It looks like it's gonna get snipped off.
By a lobster.
Yeah, the natural enemy of the bat, the lobster.
A lobster. Yo, I got the other book for my girlfriend to show off. This is the variant cover.
You have a girlfriend?
Yeah, by Simon Bisley. Look at this. Look at this. Bancroft, avert your eyes. Dude, the colors came out so well. Look at this.
Oh, because of nips.
Pokies, yeah.
They could cut granite,
That's right.
cut obsidian, let alone glass.
Kick-ass popping colors. I was so happy how the colors came out on this. And then you got the Shelby Robertson back cover.
TC says Jake always imagines the worst scenario for cute things. Because I'm trying to think, what is the most dangerous thing that they need protecting instantly? What is the most delicate spot? With tarantulas, it's that booty. With bats, it's the tip of the nose. With hedgehogs, it's their spines, because some people think you can clip them and they're hollow. And also, yeah, with hedgehogs, people cut their spine. Yeah. Well, sometimes there's like
you mean
like
they're spikies.
yeah. But they're hollow and they can get like ill because of stuff going in the hollow spines after some idiot cuts them. But then also hedgehogs. It's funny how Sonic drowns really easily. Hedgehogs aren't supposed to go in water. So whenever someone sends a cute video of a hedgehog like on a little floaty in like a sink, I'm like, if that thing flinches and falls in the water, it's gonna get water in its nose, and then it's gonna get pneumonia.
Yeah.
Right.
You have anxiety about a lot of nature videos.
Yeah, that whole video, that police safety video, surviving edged weapons. The entire time watching that video, I was on fucking edge because I was like, everyone's gonna get stabbed. I have such a horrible fear of knives. My sister would chase me around the house with a knife once, and I'm like, fuck off, leave me alone. I would just close the door and not come out.
I wonder why you have a fear of knives, Jake. I can't imagine.
I already had the fear, and it wasn't. Yeah,
what
she
a
would not
great
even chase me with
sister.
it. She would just hold it. She'd be like, Jake, I got a knife. I'm like, fuck off. I would just instantly walk out the room and close the door.
Are supposed to do? That's how it is.
Yes. You're apparently all of your human rights are invalidated when you have a sibling.
I wouldn't know. I was the one doing the terrorizing, I guess.
Oh man, I did plenty of
I don't
that.
have siblings, but my cousins.
Once my sister got like, when we were really little kids, she got. I was a dickhead. She got like one of those kitchens that kids get, like a tall kitchen thing. And for some reason, I was so jealous. I pushed it over. It's like, why would I didn't want a kitchen. It just seemed really cool.
Oh, like those toy kitchen things.
Like,
you were just jealous that she got a cool thing. That's it.
Yeah, and
those are girliest toys ever. You know, it's like, oh, my sister got a dollhouse. Like, did you want one?
No.
No judgment. No judgment.
I wouldn't want my equivalent of a dollhouse, though. I was like, where's my equivalent of a wheelie kitchen? It's like, Jake, there isn't one. You already have a train set over there, idiot.
I didn't have it. We had those like Polly Pocket things, so I did love those. Those were fun. The good old days. 90s childhoods. And that's why they kicked me out of Taiwan. Yes, exactly. I was terror. Oh yeah. Speaking of animals, like, dude, it is worrying. Little people know about animals, and well, it reminds me. I just saw this video. And not like I know that much about animals, but there was So it was this video of a manta ray that had been fished out of the water and was just on the deck of a boat, which first of all is a problem because it can't breathe. And then what happened is they had the manta ray just kind of like lying there, like belly up. And you know how they have like their faces on like their bellies, so they look kind of derpy. And then this fisherman just reached his hand and like scratched his stomach, and the manta ray went like this. And it looked funny and cute, like it was hugging the hand, but it was actually like in pain because their stomach area is very sensitive. So it was like in shock and curling up, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's so cute." And then I saw one comment that's like, "This isn't cute. You're hurting it."
I hate that shit.
Yeah,
so many,
so sad.
So many cute hedgehog videos. It's like whenever they take photos of the hedgehogs with the babies and they've like moved the babies. It's like, you don't understand the true horror of what is actually, this is actually a photo of, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh boy. Richard Cahill for €2. Thank you. Did Mike Skios Tracheolis make you smile? I don't know who that is. So I don't know, but
baseball
sorry.
player?
Sorry to hear that someone had a tragic illness. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Is it baseball? I don't follow baseball. Who is that?
He's still alive.
There is a baseball guy with that name.
Yeah, I have no idea. I wouldn't smile at anybody's illness.
What if it had a funny name though?
Yeah, like bonitis.
Yeah, bonitis.
Or whooping cough. I always thought that was so fucking funny. Oh, you got whooping cough?
Yeah, except it kills people. Or used to. Jake's laughing himself to death at other people's plights.
Look, some diseases are funny.
Oh my god.
Like the one in Futurama where you get sick, but it's like a clown flu, and whenever you sneeze, you're pulling like handkerchiefs out of your nose in a big line, and you sneeze and you get clown hair instantly.
Oh, that is pretty funny though.
That
it's
was
like
real.
You sneeze and you just like explode confetti out of your mouth or something. Yeah, like gout. Exactly. Gout's funny. I don't laugh at any illness except gout. I think that's hilarious. I'll laugh at people's pain all day.
Haven't had it. I might. The last gout attack I had was just before Tampa. So as the anniversary of the fabled day dawns, that will also be a year without a gout attack.
Don't jinx it.
That's great.
Don't jinx it. My choice is trying to make us. Why? No, you cannot permaban LSVRB, especially since I don't have the meme yet.
Where's this meme, Alex?
Yeah, Phil's got showers to have.
My shower's waiting.
I mean, feel free to go shower. That's fine. Don't let us hold you up. It's not like we're friends or anything, Phil. You have to stick around.
Alex is holding me up.
Feel free to go shower. Phil doesn't want to hang out with us anymore.
I just want to shower.
I have a script for the Drake Bristle book, a really loose script that's like similar to the script that Irene wrote for that example, and I kind of just want to throw it at and say 20 pages, turn this script into a 20-page book and then see what happens. That would be insane.
The script similar to the dramatic romance?
No, is in how it's written. Like it's like essentially bullet points. I could pull it up if you want, but
oh, like how I laid out the points in the text.
Yeah.
That's how. Okay, if you look at like the script for Fiendish, that's all it is. It's all bullet points.
I love doing that as the initial script.
Yeah, because it's just. I mean, I feel like if you're writing for comics, at least for me, I don't know. I'm probably just retarded. I am. I know, but it's easier to go from bullet points and then just go straight to thumbnails. It feels like everything is more visually ingrained from the start.
Here we go. Here's the script for the Drake Bristle.
Yes, TC. I have nothing to do and I'm so lazy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it would be ages. It wouldn't need a time frame. But look, it's basically a description of the important point, and then it has like key dialogue, like nerd 2, is that Rehypnol? Nerd 1, no, it isn't Rehypnol, in all caps. And it basically has, important points interspliced with like key dialogue moments.
No, it isn't Rehypnol. Oh god.
This is it. And I'd be like, okay. And I'm making it blurry so you can never really see it except for the first page.
Somebody's going to screenshot the exact.
Well, there you go.
Words.
They can spoil it for themselves if they truly want to. But yeah, okay. Do you think you could just throw this script at someone and be like, do that, but 20 pages?
You can't show this. This is going to end up in the Lucent 3 if you're not careful.
There's going to be 2 nerds arguing about whether the drug is Rehypnol or not in the Lucent 3.
Oh, I missed a member chat. I'm sorry, FK. I hope you're still around. I apologize. I'm way late on this. FK322 member for 18 months. Thank you so much. I guess we should have wrapped up the main segment with this, but that's fine. We can do that now before the meme, as Alex is working on it. Define poignant, ornate, and impactful. Why don't all of you start and torture me?
Well, we all have to. I guess we have to define our own words. So Phil has to define poignant, and then we can argue against his definition.
Perfect. Let's go.
Yeah. Poignant is,
don't say it,
adjective that describes something sad or regretful.
He's reading out of the dictionary.
With a
He's cheating,
sad or
and he's
regretful
wrong.
weight.
The dictionary is wrong.
I would say it has a sad or regretful weight to it.
But most people think that the meaning of the word poignant is actually what the meaning of the word prescient is.
Yeah. Because
What?
most
True.
people are plebs.
It's Noel's thinking about the definition of the word prescient.
Well, you see, the definition of words change, so let's change the definition of poignant to fit what most people think it is, aka I'm just too lazy to change my word usage.
Oh, I actually got prescient wrong. Prescient is like precognition.
Yeah, not prescient. What would, because I've been using poignant wrong too, what would be an actual correct word for the way that we thought poignant, the meaning?
Yeah, because we thought it
was
meaningful is sort of like what it would mean.
Right. Almost just saying
Like
impactful.
Relevant.
But it's almost more.
It's
like all the Columbo episodes, they always end with a poignant moment. And Star Trek used to do that too. They end with little, like, fun little moments.
Impactfully relevant and insightful.
Profound.
Yeah.
That's close.
A profound relevancy.
Pertinence.
Maybe we make a new word up. Maybe we need to make a new word up that signifies what we think when we hear poignant.
Pertifound? I
What?
apologize.
Oh, wait, yeah. Pertinent. Wait, pertinent probably is it. Oh my god. It might be pertinent. Relevant or applicable to a particular matter opposite. So is it the opposite of poignant?
The dictionary is not doing us any favors.
I think it might be pertinent.
What the fuck was the English language? Fuck the English language. We had a revolution for a reason. Fuck off.
Material that implies so close a relationship that it cannot be dispensed without serious attention. So that's like importantly relevant. Pertinent is like important relevance.
Profound, pertinent. I think pertinent could be the.
No, it is pertinent. It is pertinent, relating directly to the subject being considered. It's pertinent.
Yeah, but that's not what the end of every Columbo episode is. That's what I want to find. Like, what's the word? Because I'm poignant, but I don't know what other words you would say. That's why poignant's a good word, because you can't replace it with other words.
I bet the Columbo thing is it's like pertinence, but it has a metaphorical angle to it.
I'll give you an example of a Columbo ending. There's an ending where Columbo, he ends up kind of teaming up with a mob boss, which he would never do, but because of pretty crazy circumstances, the mob boss actually wants this killer caught too. And so Columbo teams up with them and they run a little mini con on this killer that basically involves the mob boss threatening him implicitly so bad that the guy runs straight to Columbo, and Columbo's like, I can only protect you if you confess, which is actually funny now that I think about it. Like, he didn't really solve this. He knew the guy was guilty though. So it's not like, because it is like, damn, that could go to court and they'd be like, he confessed under duress, throw it out or whatever. But I think they say, if we see you on the streets, if you say you confessed under duress, we're still going to kill you. So the guy does get arrested. So then at the end, Columbo and the mob boss, they kind of look at each other, and I think they might shake each other's hand, and they look at each other, and the mob boss is like, we should be friends. Like, let's hang out. Let's have a drink. Like, you're a good guy. And Columbo really likes him. They have become friends. And Columbo goes, I don't think so. And he walks away. And it's like, I guess that has a little bit of sadness to it, but it's like poignant. And Columbo wants to stay and be friends with the mob guy, but he can't.
Yeah.
I
can see how that does have a little bit of sadness. Well, I must now completely change my usage of the word poignant, except probably not, because I don't write words. It's just dialogue.
Yeah. Language Solo says it hits your feelings. That's what but it's not, it's like combined almost with trite, I would almost say. Because like it ends, it's not the plot. They wrapped everything up and there's one little flourish at the end that doesn't matter, but it's a nice little emotional beat. It's like a punctuation on a sentence kind of thing. And that's what poignant is in the Columbo sense, which is
that
like
makes
my main
sense. Well,
Yeah.
pertinent does feel more logical. Like, well, this logically speaking, this subject is pertinent to this occurrence, blah blah blah. And poignant, I thought it just meant emotionally impactful, but I get just the correct definition is emotionally impactful, but also sad. It's not
Yeah.
that hard to adjust for.
Yeah.
No?
So what are the other words we got to define?
You must. Who had ornate?
Right.
Jake.
Okay, I actually do have a definition, and I think it will communicate it properly for once. Don't go off camera. Everyone wants to see the pain on your face.
Bye.
Don't run. Why are you running? Why are you running?
But bye. I am running because this is torture.
Let's talk
Come on.
about cannibals next.
I've got it. Listen, Arian, come back.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Okay, fine. Okay. So ornate. A striking intricacy to composition that can involve symmetry, over-design, or patterning.
You say so?
That's my definition of the, because it's like you have warm and cold. Me using the word ornate is like a word I'm using to mean something else.
Yeah.
Does that not make sense? Shall I say it again? Were you guys listening?
I will
Is the
say it one more time.
Okay. Ornate. A striking intricacy to composition that can involve symmetry, over-design, or patterning.
So striking is kind of a keyword.
Yeah.
Intricacy to composition.
Yeah.
So making
Yeah.
a composition that's not shit.
No. Because ornate is the opposite to utilitarian, and if you follow all of the rules, you can create a really well-composed utilitarian composition.
Yeah, that's interesting. Pairing it with its opposite helps you understand it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Ornate is the opposite to utilitarian.
Interesting.
You've got to understand it by now. Come on.
I mean, I just find it silly to try to define this because it's basically my quarrel wasn't that ornate doesn't exist. My quarrel was that it's not a storytelling device. It's just an elaborate art style.
No, you can add ornateness to a sequence, a storytelling sequence, like having a bunch of characters that are performing the exact same actions in different locations. I would actually say that that's like adds ornateness to a plot. Would be a striking a striking intricacy to the composition of a sequence.
I would say Art Deco is very ornate.
Yes, very true. Yes.
But it does not do anything mechanically better than a different style of architecture.
Mm-hmm. But it's striking because of it.
Right.
Okay.
It's probably why they chose that art design for BioShock.
Yeah.
If you can have a city under the sea, everyone could do a sci-fi bullshit world, but why not use Art Deco? It was a good definition. Look, it took me a while to think of that.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay, wait. EC is saying, I think Jake's idea of ornate is close to what others term complexity. You can have an uninteresting complexity, though. Like, you can have a lot of detail, and it's not doing anything.
Art Nouveau is more ornate, and Neo-Gothic even more so.
Listen, you put it in the title of the stream. You invite this discussion, Irene.
I got a headache.
Rhyming is kind of ornateness.
Drink some
dialogue.
water. Yeah.
If you had rhyming dialogue, that would be ornate.
Well, it depends. I would say Dr. Seuss rhyming is not ornate.
Complexity is not.
But
equals ornate. Michael makes a good point.
But it's a striking interest. It would be a striking intricacy to the
Irene, could you in a box?
Huh?
Quoting Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, could you with a fox?
With a fox in
No?
her box?
Yeah.
What?
You're not
Sounds like a fairy
versed in
convention.
Green eggs and ham.
No.
Seuss PhD.
I don't want to do anything with the fox, but hug it. Foxes are cute.
Hey, Bancroft. Big ups to Bancroft tonight. Big ups. Okay, we got this meme. Unless we want to go over impactful.
No. I need to be tortured more.
Let's put out everybody's urge to continue torturing me right here.
Look at this shadow book.
Impactful. Who had impactful? I guess Narwhal. It's only fair if Narwhal covers that. So
yeah, I guess it's me.
And then henceforth, never mention any of these words ever again. Thank you.
Yeah, even this word is kind of controversial. Yeah, but poignant vexes me the most, and then ornate I can kind of understand the vexation. Impactful, I think it's like what Jake was saying. It's like contrast, and so it's just contrast.
Now, there's one thing that impacts me on this page. I wonder if you guys can point it out here.
Wow, it's the one that contrasts the most to the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of impact on this page right here.
See, the reason why impact pissed Irene off so much is because she wasn't here for how to add contrast to the events in a story. And the whole definition was impact is contrast at times rhythm. Because there's a rhythm to the contrast that you put there, Phil. Like there was a bunch of elements, then there was one at the end. It wasn't just half the page was blacked out faces and half the page was non-blacked out. There was a rhythm. It was da-da-da-da-da-da-da ping at the end. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why.
Go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say that's sort of like we've talked about before. Everybody knows rhythm is a dancer.
I still can't remember the rest of the lyrics.
Is that a movie? Dancer in the Dark.
Rhythm is a dancer.
It's my soul companion.
It's my soul companion.
I think
something.
You let everywhere.
It's my childhood in this song.
I think what annoys me about the definition of using impact and ornate as storytelling techniques, especially ornate, is that feels like saying, let's say, I don't know, having paper is a comic technique or something like that, right? It's like, of course, it needs to be
because
there.
not every good comic has ornate qualities to it.
Yes, it does.
No,
ornate doesn't just mean good. Okay, listen.
No, I agree.
Look,
ornate doesn't just mean good, but even a very pared down, purely straightforward technological, so you can try to be as straightforward and unornate as possible, but if you create any design that reads well, that conveys a story, you by necessity, even if the art style isn't ornate, then the paneling on the storytelling,
it's a gradient. It's a gradient. It's not an on and off. It's not an on or off switch. There's a gradient. So whenever I mention ornateness, it's always a percentage.
It's just pizzazz, or it's just flair, visual flair. That's it.
Okay, Bancroft mentioned it a bunch of times. Chant's Nosfero.
Very ornate.
It's a very ornate book. Like that book is like ornate as a book.
Seeped in ornacity, which is a word I just made up.
Mm-hmm.
I love ornacity. It's good. Like there are a lot of very noticeable qualities about Chant's Nosfero book that embody the qualities of ornateness. Ornatitude.
Michael says ornate must be heavily detailed.
It can be. It's a gradient as well. You can just throw some diamond panels in, and it's like little blips of ornateness.
Ornacity. Yeah.
I agree with Alex. Let's put our definitions in the newsletter. That's never going to happen. And I'm going to move on to the meme before I lose my goddamn mind.
Pull up the meme. I have it up.
I'm not in control of anything. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Creative Block Dictionary. You don't want that. I would get fucking
that would be great. That would be great.
What a
you'd
creative
have to
dictionary.
You'd have to have several definitions for each word. This is the argued positions of the word.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't see. Yeah, I have it pulled up. So, what's happening?
What the comic strip?
Amazing.
Wow. He's evolving.
It's me talking to Narwhal.
Wait, no, it's Phil running through a cavern, and the Narwhal is. This isn't. What's
there's the bats. The bats are hanging in the cave.
Oh, look at the little marshmallow batty bats. And then here's the upside down shot because I mentioned you could turn into this. Cool. Hey, you got the ass in there. Look, it's a giant juicy butt. Well done. Ooh, those are nice rocks. And then
big Latina booty.
Me, for some reason, I have bunny ears, and then here's a spider. Is this a bad version? Like even more?
No, it's a giant banana with the spider on it.
It is
a bunch of bananas.
Oh no! That's the BBEG of my character in this.
What? Alex VRB stole my achievement. He put a bigger banana than my comic.
No, it's in the foreground, so it could even be tiny.
Oh, he put the tiniest banana?
Where's Jake? Yeah. Is Jake the wizard there? The upside down?
It might be.
Where are you?
It is orange. I wouldn't be turning away from the ass if it was me, though.
No.
No, he posted a page turn.
No,
he just super chatted. He just super chatted.
Oh, thank you for $2, Alex VRB. Just posted a page turn on tag. Okay. Damn. That is effort.
That is
next level stuff going on right here, guys.
I know. That is awesome. Look, we're effective. We're sharing knowledge about comics. We're teaching comics. How amazing. Hold on. Here. Do I have it? Oh, I see it. Okay.
I've got it.
All right, share this tab. Pertinent!
Oh my god. Look at this Narwhal.
The spider brings the greatest truth.
Alex, you're the best. That's great.
That was,
it was a page turn. Look. Oh, we're all running.
That's us escaping. We made it. That's awesome.
Wait, whose eyes are above the frame? The panel.
I don't know.
Look at those eyes up there.
Oh, that's funny. There's someone looking on.
It's creepy.
Yeah. Why are their eyes just
brown eye?
I like that environment. That's cool. So here's the pages in order. First we were right. So you don't establish anything. It's just like a lot of tension, and the tension and the mystery keeps the reader flipping
the question
forward. Yeah, the question, because you're like, oh, why is Phil running? And why is Narwhal running? And why are there marshmallow batty bats in the corner? Oh my gosh, who's this character?
Whose ass is
Spider on a banana. What's happening? I must turn the page to discover what is going on. Now the reveal is here. This is what's happening, which I'm not.
Yeah, it's basically everything we talked about in 2 images. So don't bother scrolling back and watching the stream if you're new.
Yeah, don't.
And the spider's vulnerable abdomen is in one of the point of thirds locations of interest. He's got the all of our heads are at the other sight line on the rule of thirds. The pertinent is at the other. Yeah,
there's a gold border.
It's an ornate border. There's an ornate border around that panel.
I was wondering what that border was about. Like, why is there like a sparkly gold?
It stands out, right?
We're escaping the ornateness.
As is the purpose
the spider
of
goes
ornate.
pertinent.
We're leaping out of the panel. This is amazing.
Oh yeah, maybe it's like a painting and we're leaving it. Like Super Mario.
Amazing.
I love it.
Shout
Well
out
done.
to Alex. Killing it as always.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex. That was awesome. I was like, oh, it's a really simple meme. Well, you know, that wasn't the best presentation in the world ever. I guess it wasn't inspiring, but this is cool. You did a page. Thank you. You're the best. Yay! All right. Good job, everyone. Good job, me. Not really. I hope
Good job on
everyone-
those drawings of those pages. That was beautiful to look at.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really cool. You
Cool.
you really shouldn't have.
Well, damn.
I think it's good that you did. And you should have. You should for every
I'm just saying
single.
for the your personal time, the time it took.
All right. I appreciate your concern for me having more personal time. I will keep in mind to not put in any effort the next time.
Wait, was that more fun and easier to do than an actual presentation?
Yeah.
Then do that every
Makes
time
sense.
instead.
Yeah, do that every time.
Do that every time then, instead of a presentation. If the presentations are agony, just do that.
I like doing I mean, it depends on my mood, but today I did it because I wanted to. I like doing comics, guys. Anyways, hope you guys liked it. Real quick before we leave, since I have my screen share on anyways, let's run down a super uber quick list of promotions. Lost Pages 3 live campaign. Almost at 42,000.
Get it. We're going to print this weekend, guys. Probably Monday. Everything will be in progression. What do they call it? Production. Everything will be in production for the full print run. So we are right around the corner to fulfillment. If you guys haven't backed it, grab it now. You can get all of the previous stuff in one book, the tome, and those are already printed. They'll be going out next month. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, everyone, go back. Lost Pages 3. Thank you for the link, Alex VRB, and all my other wonderful, wonderful mods. Earthbound Grand Prix Part 2 is currently live on Fun My Comic. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, close to 6,000. How many people watching tonight? If anyone hasn't backed, consider it. Take a look. See the strike.
We still have 50 people, so shout out to all you guys that are still watching. Thank you so much. Remember to hit the like, please. That would really help me out.
Nice.
Thank you.
I got one backer today that was got everything. So the campaign went up a big little chunk, which was nice.
Nice.
Appreciate that. That was
The
fun.
best.
But yeah, that's the dual. The biggest one is the dual hardcover. Which comes with all 4 comics and 2 hardcovers. So.
Cool, fantastic. Part 2 of 6, and when is the turnaround for this? I don't think I've ever
It's
asked.
done now. I'm lettering it, so it'll be done. It's going to fulfill probably in May, but June at the latest. But yeah, pretty quickly. I'm just kind of crowdfunding it, then fulfilling. The other thing is, you asked me before, like about stretch goals. And I mentioned 16K is like the big goal that I really want to hit. And if we hit that, I did think of something that I'll add, and it will be a bonus to the mini comic. Because one thing I like about the mini comic is that it's actually like not even really a deleted scene. Like you really don't need to read it at all. It's like totally pointless, but it's also bonus fun for anyone who wants it. And it's kind of about like the post office workers in space, and they use the term, they say OR versus Central, and I want to do a map of how the post office system works in Earthbound, and I'll release that. It'll just be printed on 8.5 by 11 paper and folded too, so more like zine style. But it is like OR stands for outer ring and Central stands for central, and there is a planet in Earthbound called Zero, which is right in the middle. So you're either heading kind of more towards Zero or you're heading more out towards the outer ring. And that's how they classify, because that's where all the rails are set up one way or the other, and different like people control different like directions and stuff. And so it'll talk about a little bit of world building that's also very pointless and doesn't matter at all, but it's like very fun bonus stuff.
Wait, that's like half of world building though. It's just fun to make stuff.
Yeah.
Make
like,
it fit together. Like it has nothing to do with the story, but it's like, ooh, puzzle, ooh, fun.
Yeah, it's like perfect for bonus stuff. Kind of. So that will be a
Yes.
fun bonus one to hit. So 16K. I might make it 16K, including the Indiegogo, because there will be an Indiegogo right at the end, similar to how Irene's doing it. There'll be like an Indiegogo for like 2 weeks right at the end. And yeah, so that is also. But the Indiegogo won't get the mini comics. So definitely back on Fund My Comic if you can.
Cool. Yeah, I have enjoyed that process. So. Awesome. Almost at 6K, everybody. Check out Earthbound Grand Prix. Actually, I haven't refreshed yet, but I don't want to risk killing any puppies. So,
yeah, I can warn you because they'll tell me, it sends me an email, so I'll let you know. We won't kill any angels tonight. Okay. Sometimes you can kill an angel to make the chat feel bad, but we don't want to do that.
No, I would never.
By an angel's death.
Never. Yeah. So, Carnal. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, Carnal the Barbarian. You can go to carnalcomic.com or bluedickaxe.com. I'm finally going to start drawing it soon. I'm really looking forward to it. It follows the adventures of a disgraced adventurer as he tries to rebuild his reputation. That's basically all of the Carnal story. In the first story, A Bad Case of Crabs, it's in 3 parts. This will be the first of those 3. You basically find out all about Carnal, his powers. You will learn about Carnal's magical powers that no one knows what it is in the first issue.
Wow.
It'd be crazy. But yeah, so the first story represents all of that. It shows who he is, why he's running away from his disgraced past, and how he tries to repair his reputation, and whether or not it all goes well or if he fails miserably. But yeah, one cool thing I've been working on before drawing it, switch my camera over, if you can make it big, is this. I've been making I can do 3D, so I've been doing a 3D model to use as a reference image of Carnal, so like I can draw him the same all the time, because I've never really done muscular characters before in drawings, and I don't want to just like look at reference all the time and like different references on Google and then like fudge the musculature. So yeah, I made this kind of like model of him, and like now he even has like an axe, so I can always put it in correct scale against him. But yeah, I couldn't be honest. I'm not gonna model all the freaking veins. But look, here's one cool thing about it. You notice in this scene, there's like a ton of heads now, because I can't stop myself. I always have to go too far. So if I zoom in on his face, basically you can see he has a little bit of a different expression like he usually does. So I made animation frames, blend shapes that can control his fucking eyelids separately. And
he was so
mouth.
proud of this. I was watching him struggle with the eyelids.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh my god, the eyelids work!"
It's a pain in the ass to
like the eyelids,
to make all of these eyelids and like separate them in halves, but also make them mirrored, but then also make them work as blend shapes. Like it's such a pain in the ass. But yeah, so now. And I'm gonna make a few more expressions, but yeah, I can make him look drunk, I guess. Like yeah, so like he can have this one like this. So I can control all of the eyelids separately for this animation, so he can look like this. Then so then he can go.
You could do a VTuber, like Jav's saying. You could become a VTuber.
I could. So I could basically take this into VR chat and run around the virtual realm as Carnal, but I could also set it up as like a 3D VTuber model, which I'm thinking of doing. I think that could be cool.
Fun, yeah.
So you'll have Narwhal's 2 fucking frame VTuber thing, and then his and then my way too much effort 3D model fucking.
It's way too much effort. I can't believe you spent this much time on
awesome.
this. It looks great.
I love doing this, and it's not that much work for me. But wait, let's make him super happy. Hold on, let's put him all the way up. Yeah, and then go. Oh, look at him! Yes. But look at all these.
You should do entire streams of that voice. It'll go. Honestly, people will probably.
I could do all of the development streams.
Yeah, just rig this up via YouTube, like a VTuber.
Let's do it.
Be like, look, everybody.
Hey guys, it's me, Colonel El Barbarione, here to ruin everything as always. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Anyway, that's so please sign up. Please sign up for my
sign up for Colonel, everybody.
Please sign up for my comic. I'm putting a lot of effort into it, and I'll start streaming again soon because I want to model some of the key locations to use as reference and all of the key characters. So you can go to carnalcomic.com or bluedickx.com and get ready for the first adventure of the titular character Connell as he tries to rescue his previously disgraced reputation in a frantic effort to save the day, but save himself by saving the day, because he can't do anything completely selflessly, because who would, right?
Yeah, nobody does that.
It's
Good people don't exist in the world.
He's a real character. Yeah. And Bancroft's got #Cocktober. I'm planning on drawing it all in advance, which means I've got to draw about a spread a week all the way until October, and then I want to try and launch it Cocktober first. And listen, that sounds like a long way away. It's not. It won't be. It'll be here before we know it.
Yeah.
Although but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting more. It's been the same art on this page for like over 6 months, so I'm looking forward to spice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to spicing it all up. It'll be fun. Can't wait to unleash the chaotic craziness of this apparently never going to exist book upon.
I so deeply apologize for giving you work.
No, it's been great.
Don't worry.
The colors on my book are going to look amazing now.
They will. Like, I'm not kidding. Jake has improved a lot with his coloring. He has good colors, but like sequential art coloring is its own discipline, and Jake has leveled the fuck up. So Cardinal's gonna look amazing. Definitely sign up. Also, I've read he has like all the thumbnails done. It is hilarious. I can vouch. It is indeed full of boobs and blue dick axes. It is hilarious.
Yeah, it's not all dick. There's a lot of boob. It's not a dick.
There are a lot of boobs. Yes.
Look at the boobs.
Cocktober. So sign up for that. But if you want to find some other work from Jake, but more importantly, work from me. Everybody, Back Phoenix, Chapter 2.5 Survivor. That went up. Yeah, it went up like 100, over almost like $200. Thank you so much, because we started out the stream at 6,000 exactly, so now it's jumped up. Thank you so much to people who backed during the stream. Everybody check this out. This campaign is only going to be up for 2 more days. It's closing down on Sunday, and there's no in demand because I am going to print right away. The campaign is fulfilling in April, so if you want the campaign covers, and this one right here, the Springtide cover, this is the only one that is still available, because the Fund My Comic campaign covers, those are already gone. All my campaign covers are only available for new books anyways on the crowdfunding campaign. So the last chance for you to back this cover is the next 2 days until Sunday. After that, it will be gone. So if this looks interesting to you, check it out. And here are some of the interiors by Michael Rushbrook and colored by Jake. I want to show you guys something that I guess is pertinent to today's discussion. You guys want to see something interesting?
Poignant?
Pertinent.
Not really. No, it's pertinent. I have learned correct English usage. It is pertinent. Not really poignant, even in the correct usage. I mean, I guess so. It's kind of sad. Here are my layouts for the beginning of 2.5. I've shown them
correct use of pertinent.
Pertinent. Yes, that's right. So this is what I gave to Rushbrook, and so I did the layouts because I'm a control freak. But also this is just how I write and he penciled and inked starting from.
You know what? You know what Rushbrook did is he took your layouts and he selected all and went to black and hit fill. And
No, he didn't.
And then he gave it back to you. I'm just kidding.
No, he didn't. Hold on. I can switch because I have the other PDF open. Dun dun dun. So he followed my layouts very closely, even though I told him he doesn't have to. But he obviously like filled in all the details, and this is his art. Like it's very faint here. So this is the file I gave to Jake because I have my like coloring notes. I can show the first few pages. Not a big deal.
This is like the Office meme where it's like, show me the differences here, and she's like, Pam's like, it's the same thing.
It's not. So see, these are my layouts, and now I guess I will take commissions for comic layouts starting today. I guess that's the thing. But so this is here's a little behind the scenes for 2.5, and yeah, this is what I had. This is what Rushbrook was working on. These are all my notes everywhere, telling Jake and Michael what to do. But hope you guys enjoyed that little sneak peek.
The second one is where I'm like, I don't know what you actually want these pages to feel like. And then she's like, I should probably write things. I should probably actually tell you.
It's this whole problem that this has been a learning experience for me as well, because working in I've done a lot of comics that are just me, like everything is me, no colors, but with my main colorist on the main Fiendish books, it's been a learning curve as well. Like I would usually I've had a note file where I would just start writing down if there's any page where I feel like, oh, there's a specific color that I really feel I would really work well, then I would start writing a note file. But I didn't do that for Fiendish 1, and it was like he was probably very annoyed because in my mind, I'm like, I don't have a script, but I have in my mind the drawn comic, like the inks are already a level up from the script. So why do you need me to have a script? But no, it because not everything translates. A good colorist will take into account how do you emotionally want a scene to feel and what temperature of do you want the scene to be and all these other things and all this stuff. Like, I mean, it's just me being stupid because in my mind, I'm like, oh, this character is a brunette or has like sandy blonde hair with a white streak here, and I see it that way in my head, and I've been seeing it for so long that I just assume everybody else on the team knows that, except they don't because they're not mind readers. So then they color it wrong, and I'm like, wait, why? And they're like, you didn't tell us, you fucking idiot. So anyways, here are my color notes for Jake, and that's what this file is.
The worst part is when you see a character and there's literally no reference for what the colors are of all of the things on the character. Then you have to make them up because or bother. But yeah, I just made them up. And then when the character is incredibly detailed, it's like you're now having to like make up the colors and like balance them across the character when there's no color reference for the character.
I'm always here. You can ask me. I literally have a reference folder with thousands and thousands of images.
Do you have one for Friggy?
Yeah.
You have a color palette? You have had color palettes?
Sounds like a disastrous job.
You have color palettes for these characters and you didn't share them?
She's just green. Just think about Ragna, but older.
Oh my god. Zoom in on her. Zoom in on her. Can you zoom in on Friggy in that bottom middle panel?
Fight.
Yeah, press the zoom. You can zoom in.
There you go. It's difficult to
okay, no. Hold on. No. Wait. What? Yeah, zoom in on Friggy. Further.
Oh closer. My god!
Closer. So it goes full screen. Go on, zoom in.
Why? What's your problem?
Because I want people to know the character I mean. If it's like
pretty, it's an ornate design, I would say.
Go down. Okay, so the direction is she's just green. She's just green. So you get
she's green.
She's just green.
You know what I mean? She's Ragna's grandmother. So she has green hair, but it's lighter. I have a whole ass description of her somewhere around here, maybe. Yeah, like right here. Look, Ragna's grandmother. Blah 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 blah. Calm to me. Oh right, I didn't describe her colors. Anyways, I am here all the time. You could just ask me, like, what color is her necklace? Wow, and I will tell you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Are these your layouts still?
I'm sorry, Jake.
That's okay.
I'm sorry for your pain.
No, I'm only joking. I was coloring that one specific panel today, and I was like, "Oh, what are these colors?" And I'm like, I won't.
Irene, why do your layouts look so good?
These are my
They're so
layouts. These are my
detailed.
these are Michael's inks, dude. These are Michael's inks. My layouts are here.
Oh God.
Yeah. But anyway, so here's a quick peek at the behind the scenes for 2.5. As soon as Jake is done with colors and I'm done with formatting the extra content, which hopefully, let me go back to the campaign. If we hit our next stretch goal at 7K right here, which we're like 800, a little over 800 from hitting. So we're at 6,000. If we hit 7K, that makes the campaign, the total for the book, not just this campaign, across both Fund My Comic and Indiegogo, that takes us to over 45,000, which is amazing. And that's why I set it for 7,000, because then at that goal, 45,000 total, I'll add 2 pages of world building content at the back of the book. So hopefully we hit that. There's only 2 more days left. And of course, if we hit 9,000, that would be really awesome as well. So hoping for that. But right now we're getting for 7,000. Yeah. Check it out, everyone. And thank you to people who backed during the campaign. Yeah, I so love you. Yoo-hoo. Yeah. You're best. Does she draw power from her headdress? No.
Dango Solo said he wants to see the colored version of that panel. I could go get it.
That was the page Jake forgot to color, by the way. That's why he's asking me now.
That's why I was doing, and I recolored the page before it on the spread because so that they would like match better, because that was like the first one I did. I'll honestly be super quick.
Okay. I'm gonna answer a few questions. I think I saw a few. Elijah Brown said earlier, I decided to buy Fiendish One. Thank you so much. I started that just so I didn't forget to go back. And thank you. I appreciate the support. Green is a spectrum, including the entire visible light band. What? Really? Green is very versatile. That's right. If you look at different colors, green has a very like hue or brightness and darkness wise. I don't know these terms. I'm not a professional colorist, but anyways, brightness and darkness wise, green is very versatile. Some other colors aren't. What were you gonna show?
I'm loading it right now. I just have this on the screen because it was still open.
Okay, well, hurry up.
Did you know 3 is the magic number?
The rule of 3s is the magic number.
Forgot to color. I see.
It's taking a while to load.
Okay, I was trying to make you feel extra awkward.
I don't think I can ever feel more awkward than I do 24/7. There is actually a relevant point to make if you want to make me big.
You can also check out my website, fiendishcomic.com. There you go. Yay. Okay, what's that? What?
The first page of Alex's meme was this.
Oh, that was the first one?
Oh, I didn't see that! Oh, I get it! Ah!
So there you go. It was even deeper than expected.
It was, Alex. You're awesome. That's great.
Deep.
Oh, that's. How did I miss that? Oh, perfect.
Okay, I got it.
It matched. Hold on. Oh my gosh! And that matched this composition. Alex, you're a genius. You're a genius. Pertinent. Oh my gosh.
So, do you want to show the colored version of this entire spread or what? Just the one panel?
The shit layout I did matched Alex's awesome meme that he made. Okay, sorry. Go here.
Do you want me to show the whole spread or not?
You
Just
can show
that
the whole
panel.
spread. You can show the whole spread. So
this is kind of like the recolored version of that spread, and you can see there like probably some subtle differences from. But yeah, this is the colors I came up with, and the camera's not going to de-blur, sadly. God damn it.
Nice. Well, I think those colors are fine. Like, I know I should have given you more color ref for her, but you already picked good colors for her.
I know, but
She basically has the same colors as Ragna, just a little desaturated because she's older.
Just all the primary colors, yeah, except for blue, I guess.
Yeah, she basically looks like a Christmas tree because Ragna's a Christmas tree.
Oh, the
She literally is.
Autofocus. Okay, let's see.
Guys, if you don't know, don't make characters that are colored like a Christmas tree because it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, they're like tomato people or carrot people.
Fucking hard. I'm like, oh, it'll be so cool to have a human race that's just like really weirdly colored, and then I have to color them, and every single time I color Ragna, it's a pain in the ass. Like, if you notice in the chapter 2 permanent cover, I just blacked her out. It's just like a fucking shadow. Looks great, Jake.
Yeah, I'm very happy. This was me. I was agonizing over it today. But no, I'm very happy with how this came out. And I'm not going to scroll around because all the pages are here. Yeah, wait, look. There they all are.
Oh my gosh. Okay, all right, we're done. So everybody, you can look forward to that. Jake is almost done with the colors. And thank you everyone who has supported all of our campaigns and joined us today. Yay! Thank you so much.
Who's next week?
Oh, it's me in it.
Oh no, it's Jake.
Yeah, it's you, Phil, and then Irene again, and then Noel again. I'm thinking of doing the word pressure, as in creating pressure in a story, because it's what I've been trying to think about. It's like, so we've tried to explore. One of the things you're always trying to emphasize is a character's motivation, but the word motivation, it makes you think in a certain way. But there are other words for motivation, like pressure, that can make you think differently about how a character is motivated, right? Like which pressures are placed upon a character, how to make the audience feel the pressure a character is under.
In other words, another definition debate. Bring your dictionary, everyone.
Yes! I mean, aren't those fun? I love those.
They're the best.
Yeah, I like it. You know, that reminds me of the Mel Gibson quote about how he like crafts stories, and he goes, I like to tighten the screws. That's all he says.
Creating pressure.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it. Cool. Well, I look forward to that, everyone. Be sure to follow everyone else here. There's a link in the description that is a playlist. It's like right in the description, creative block playlist. Add that so you don't miss any of our shows. And you can also watch our older shows and subscribe to everybody here because this is a rotating show. And
yes,
we'll see you next Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern for another creative block. And this Sunday on my channel, I'll be. Oh wait, oh shit. Oh no, that's next Sunday. All right. Somebody else invited me on a stream. So this Sunday on my channel, I'm closing out Phoenix 2.5 on Indiegogo. And that's it. That'll be it. And we're going to print. Next Sunday, I'll be on somebody else's channel to talk about Fiendish 2. So cool. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night. See you on Sunday. Bye.
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 Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop.